Hello, everyone. Luckily, that was muted.
Damn it.
How we doing?
The timing was so good. I wish I wasn't muted.
You were so close, but I have learned from Matthew Mercer. I know what to do, and that is to keep my players muted for the first 5 seconds.
I do the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
I never do.
Taking all the theatrics and fun out of you guys are fun sponges. That's what I have to say.
Oh, does that mean we soak
You're
up all the
right.
fun
I
and have a great
attract all
time?
the fun, Billy. Thank you.
Soak up all the fun,
Nice.
and so no one else can have any.
We have all the fun here. It'll be even more fun in the near future. But hi, everyone. It is Sunday night. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Use she, her. I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming and joining us on Witcher Sundays. They're counting tonight. There are only 5 episodes left of Witcher Roads Home. Tonight and then 4 more. This is lots of fun, and I have all of my wonderful friends here to tell this wonderful story and to continue this wonderful, wonderful tale. So I will turn the mic over to them and let them say who they are and who they will be playing tonight. And we'll start with Lindy. Hey, Lindy.
Hi.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Hello. Tis I. I am Lindy of the Laugh Love Lindy. I'm feeling great. Brenna isn't sure what she's feeling. Emotionally, that would require, depth of feeling, which is
I feel like
difficult at times.
I feel like that's an inaccurate assessment. You have the depth of feeling, you just don't have the verbiage to
Access it.
express it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's very repressed most of the time.
Yeah.
But someone made a courage roll last week and crit it, so things happened. And we'll get into that with a recap. Yeah, I play Countess Brenna von Vedler of the Cat School, who's making decisions, y'all.
Yep. Making choices and standing by them. Speaking of people who are made choices, last session, let's go jump directly underneath Brenna on the overlay. To Cadarn.
That's not how I
Hello.
remember it.
Hey, Simon. Well, no, so I said on the overlay. I did specify the overlay.
Yes, on the overlay. Hello, everyone. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I use he, him pronouns. Tonight I play Cadarn of Edern, mage extraordinaire, and I think I got a reputation bonus last week for coming up all hogtied in a coffee house. But aside from that, things happened, and I'm not going to say anything because hi, Billy. I want to see your face as you discover it in game. And yeah, I am ready for all of the journeys.
Discover what?
That is a good
Nothing.
question.
Oh,
we'll discover.
a Skellige.
Matt discovered.
There was a Skellige raiding ship.
There was.
We'll find out.
Yep.
We'll find out.
What
But that leaves us into Billy. Hey, Billy, how are you doing? How's life going for you?
I'm good. Chilling. I use he, him pronouns casually, like Arzo, who also uses he, him pronouns, and is pretty casual about it. I just made a sweet roast. It was one of those ones where right after St. Patrick's Day, they had all the corned beef at like half off. And man, that's the fucking holiday that we need to be celebrating, because you know how much meat I got for 50% off? A lot.
All the meat?
All of it.
All the meat? Nice.
I got like a 30-pound brisket for like $12. And it might have already expired, but I ate it.
As
And
long as
it
you put
was
it in the
great.
freezer, it's a Best Buy date. Not anyways.
don't
We've
have a
had
lot
this
of room
conversation
in the
about you buying
freezer.
food and
Yeah.
before.
I was in the fridge, which is like the diet freezer, or sugar-free freezer. And so like we ate it, and it was pretty good. Made it with some red potatoes, some red onions, put some honey on there because honey makes everything better. And I'm ready to play.
All right. Well, speaking of people who are ready to play, hey Trooper, how are you? How's life going for you?
I am doing very well. I'm Trooper SJP. Pew 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 pew. And I am playing Lord Math Varen, Master Druid of the Circle of Cade Mirkvid, and Math uses he/him pronouns. And Math was not hogtied, but Math was cleaning. Had to do quite a bit of cleaning
Cleansing,
last session.
really.
Cleansing, some cleansing rituals last session.
Look, let's be honest.
Yes.
If Math had access, he would totally be mixing up some chlorine bleach and ammonia.
Well, he's not too scandalized. He just was like, oh, well, I probably should not have been looking over there. I mean, the secrets. I mean, it's wow. You know what I mean? Like the secrets.
So many
I mean,
secrets.
I just yeah, I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to spoil Billy for
No,
whatever
we
it
don't want to
was
spoil Billy.
that happened.
What happened?
You
We'll
know.
find out
Like, who knows?
Things before 10 p.m.
things before 10
Yes.
p.m. And we are going. I love my players in the green room chat. We are welcome back. Hey everybody, I hope you're welcome and here. If you missed out, we're glad you're here. And if you come in, we're glad to see you. But last week, there was a battle, a skirmish, shall we say, between a number of Wild Hunt and Brenna and Cadarn in a tea house in Oxenfurt, around a quiet alleyway just a short little bit from the University of Oxenfurt. That led to almost kidnapping. Let me rephrase that. Cadarn was kidnapped for a brief period of time. And then he managed to escape. But he was kidnapped. I want to duly point it out. He was kidnapped. Then managed to escape, get back to Oxenfurt, and proceeded to go, could not get the Demeridium shackles off of his ankles and wrists by himself and needed the assistance of Brenna. And Brenna's reaction was, well, you're a lot easier to carry when you're unconscious if you're still shackled up. Just a Cadarn purse, as it were. Some sightseeing happened.
Yeah.
Well, there was, at the same time, there was an ongoing bombardment occurring at the castle in Matina. Some concern, some stress, some...
Morale's good.
Morale's
actually, the guards are really,
standard.
really competent.
Yeah, the guards are very competent. Brenna rolled very, very well for them. They were able to make sure that nobody died in the bombardment. A few people got some cuts and bruises, but nobody died. Always a good thing.
Yeah.
And then we ended at the end of last session with the after sightseeing and the realization that the next morning that there was 3 figures hanging in the town square in Oxenfurt, laid. But Cadarn and Brenna had not been able to perhaps get close enough to see anything else.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I think that's the perfect place to begin this evening. In the inn, quiet side street, just high enough that you can see a couple buildings away, the main square, and a number of figures hanging suspended from the walls of one of the buildings on the square, flayed. And really I can say that because a flayed body is a very distinctive looking individual. It's hard to miss even at a distance. And you're not that
The
far away.
The color's all off.
The color is very distinctive. And I believe
We're on day 159, is that right?
we are on, I corrected it, 158.
Okay.
No, you are correct. No, sorry, you are correct. It's 1:59. My fault.
It's a bright, beautiful new morning.
Yep.
In Oxenfurt.
It is the second Sul of Fain, a week after the summer solstice. Midsummer. So, Kadan, I believe you had gotten up to look out the window.
Nodding because I was trying to click the unmute button. Yes, I woke up and looked out the window, saw those bodies.
Yeah, 'cause
Are
we
they?
heard a bit of a commotion. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a very loud commotion. I mean, somebody strung up 3 flayed bodies in the town square overnight, and
Are they all roughly the same size?
from what you can gauge from where you are, based on your rolls at the end of last session, yes. I mean, same physical body type, yes.
Yeah. It's not like one of them would be a gnome or
No,
a
no.
dwarf or anything like that. Okay. That's new.
Brenna at this point has just like sat upright and is replaying
Mhm.
the what happened, how we got to this point in her head very, very quickly, and has only half heard Kadarn.
There was a record scratch moment, and it's
Yeah,
like, you might be wondering
basically.
how I ended up here.
That's exactly it.
Hi,
Yeah.
that's me. We might have slept through a pogrom.
What? Oh,
There are people on the wall.
well, I mean, that does happen from time to time in certain places.
Yeah, I think it's our cue to take our leave from Oxenfurt.
Probably.
We
We both fell asleep. Sure, Billy.
see you guys.
Well, but if that's the case, I should probably where did everything end up? Just gonna like try to find the articles of clothing that I'm sure are just scattered throughout the room.
Yeah,
And after a big
I
battle, you just got to take off.
well, that's it. I'll pick up. I'll help Brenna pick up her stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you sleep good?
Oh, like a baby. I was how do you say I was tuckered out?
Ah, yes, well. She looks like she has something snarky to say, but refrains from doing so at this particular moment.
No, wait. Hadn't we established that it did not count as a rest?
No, because we started early enough, it did.
Oh
You
yeah,
did.
that's true.
Because we didn't start after 10. We
Yeah,
started
that's
at
true.
like
Yeah, we started before
4
10. Yeah.
p.m., 3 p.m. Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't heard like any alarms or any like cries out or
No, that's why you were awakened. You heard the
Mhm.
ringing of the bells and a number of people shouting and descending upon
Yeah.
the square.
oh okay.
But not
Actually-
but not before like this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
woke you up, and it's
Mm-hmm.
sunrise, maybe shortly thereafter.
Usually
How
I
f-
meditate, but I actually slept last night, so I didn't hear anything either.
I figured. Well, do you want me to go take a look while you finish getting dressed, or
It's not good. I mean, you have to get dressed too.
no? I can go take a look in really a blink of an eye.
Just gonna teleport nude into the town squares and back.
I mean, I can grab my cloak very quickly.
Why don't we both just get dressed, take a little peek, and then get the fuck out of here?
That works.
Okay.
I will. I think, like, for some reason, Kadern's prosthetic is like hanging from one of the bedposts.
Probably, yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna take it and put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Open the secret compartment that Durin installed in it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just like remove a gag ball from there and put my focus back in. I don't remember what I put in it
We
originally.
I don't know.
I don't think you had anything in it there yet.
No, I didn't. So I'm just
The
gonna
ball
get.
gag,
I'll
right?
just get the ball gag out.
This please face. I'm sorry. You're living for this. She'll just be super nonchalantly. It's not nonchalant. Nonchalantly just be getting ready for the day and just keep like
I think.
glancing at
I think
Kadaren.
Kadern has years of practice of getting dressed up the morning after, so he's
Mhm.
probably done in like 5 minutes.
She could, but she's choosing to take her time this morning. Mostly because, again, she keeps like side-eyeing you, like just glancing.
Is something wrong?
No, everything's fine. How are you?
Dressed? How about you?
Yeah, I'm getting my swords on. But I didn't think dressed was a feeling. How are you feeling today, this morning?
Good. I mean, it
Good.
still hurts a bit in the stomach from
The sepsis.
sepsis
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
I tried to be gentle.
Yeah, no, it's not like you were big enough to reopen the wounds that Ardzo closed.
It's just an eyebrow raise.
So, Skellige Raiders, really?
Never been on a boat.
Never.
Well, river boats, yes, not like coastal
Mm.
ocean.
Well, I'll bring you on a boat one day. You can compare how realistic the illusion was,
Oh,
which,
that-
by the way, was very realistic.
I will take your word for it until you can show me the direct comparison. I'm dressed
Kadern
and
is
ready to
like
go.
this close from opening a portal to Skellige. To just be like a random boat.
Boat.
Mind you, it didn't work last time, so that's why he's like having
Well,
second
to
thoughts.
be fair, you were extremely flustered and
Yes.
Nat won. So 2 portal Kadern.
Ready to go, your ladyship?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, finally, someone recognizes me for what I
Oh,
am.
please. No, you you just get a little smack. It's like she opens the door to leave. Like,
I think when she smacks me, I'm going to replicate one of the moans she did last night when I smacked her.
just a dead stop. And a
I couldn't
slow
help it.
turnaround.
It came out. I couldn't help it.
Just
For
a
you.
very deadpan.
After you.
Mm-hmm. Looks like she has some things she might want to say, but it's like, nope, and it's just gonna continue down the hallway, down to the inn and leave.
As you walk out, the nice older woman who owns things like, Hope you had a nice time, dearie.
I'm
Thank you.
going to flicker 50 crowns. Like, just like put them, and I'll just say, like, you should burn that room down.
There's a sharp eyebrow raise. It's like, I told you the upholstery was
The
expensive.
upholstery's fine.
I think that's the only thing that's said before we slam the door and leave.
Because Brandon made a point to move the upholstery
Mhm.
chairs to the other side of the room. It's everything else. Let's just take a stroll.
You're taking a stroll downtown, walking fast and homebound.
Yeah, I'm like
Mhm.
looking at the sights, you know, the wonderful Oxenford hung people.
Yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
knows you have to visit the Oxenford hung people.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that these people are not hung or hanged.
Flayed. The flayed. Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Oh,
suspended.
they might be hung.
No, suspended.
Strung up, really.
I had another definition for hung, but okay.
Yeah, that was a sex
Well, it
joke.
really
is what
depends
that
on
I
who got
understood. I got it. I
Chose to ignore it. Cool.
I chose to move it on. But I knew better. I should have known better than even trying. Okay. But you make your way towards the center of town, where there is a growing crowd amidst shouts and questions and commotion. The general feeling is concern, questioning. It does not seem like anybody knows what happened beyond the fact that there are 3 dead bodies suspended from the walls of one of the university, which is the center point of town. Yeah, on the central square. Had to do that map in my mind again. You know, there's the center point in Oxenford, and like, what's this building over here? Oh, it's the university. Hanging from just outside. And there's a questioning you can hear. Brenna, you don't even need to roll for your awareness, and it's neither do you, Kadarin. It's very obvious that there are questions about like who these people are. Trying to determine that. And some people are definitely pulling well, let me check in on, all of everybody doing that rapid, like, if everybody I know is here, is there anybody missing, and it does not seem that anybody's been able to identify them yet.
Okay. Just, super incognito mode. Just hood up, chilling like a villain, swords under the cape at the moment. Do we recognize the people struck?
You can roll me an awareness to find out.
I would love to.
You will have a higher DC because, flayed bodies.
Yeah. No, Brenna's far too distracted by other things too.
I'm going to just try
Awareness.
while you do that to see if there isn't anything magical around. Like, is it just an illusion of people strung up?
I wonder what she's distracted by.
We have so many questions.
Some questions.
Questions that need answers, perhaps. Go ahead and roll if you wish to determine do that magical training roll.
Yeah.
please.
Pew, pew, pew.
Nice.
Oh, you're very distracted, Brenna.
That's what I said.
You are indeed very distracted. With a 25, magic was used to move the bodies, but they're not active. There's no active magic spells, right? Like, you can feel this.
They were telekinesis up, basically.
And I mean,
Or
like,
something.
glancing.
What's holding them up?
I mean, they're like chained and rope that are holding them up. But,
Okay.
But you can, Darren, you can kind of like take a glance around, and you can kind of put 2 and 2 together and realize there's no blood on the ground. There's nothing. There's no blood trail of any sort. And admittedly, if you flay somebody right and you do it the right way, there's no blood at all. Scary, the things you learn in classical literature. You
So they would have been moved like post mortem,
they were
basically.
moved. They were moved post mortem and probably moved magically post mortem, for a
Mhm.
variety of reasons. Roll me a spell casting.
Bleh. 22.
Supposed to be looking at these bodies, but I just keep glancing at Kadarn still.
Mhm. He's very distracting. The abs give him advantage in that level.
Do I notice that Brenna's distracted?
She's so distracted. She's so bad at hiding it too. She's
Kadarn will just look like
you're good at reading people. She's bad at peopling. It's not hard to find.
I think Kadarn would just make it on purpose to look intense as he like investigates all of this.
Like the cat that ate the canary.
And perhaps
Just no, he's trying to make himself look cool.
just I need to check a thing. Nah, that'd be too much. Yeah, no. Okay, so he's gonna look like intense
Mm-hmm.
and like deep in thoughts, and just like wiggle his pinky finger to slowly have a glamour come up to just look even better.
Uh-huh.
Okay, at least I don't fail the glamour.
Good, you don't fail the glamour.
How long does that thing last anyway?
6 hours.
Oh, 1d6
A light
hours. Okay.
breeze.
Yeah, 1d6
Well,
hours.
light
that's what I was
breeze.
going to check, but my spell for breeze is wind strong enough to knock away arrows. So it's not going to work.
No, that's a Mary Poppins floating in on air kind of
Mhm.
breeze.
Yeah,
2
so
hours.
in this case it's going to be just like for the it slowly comes up, giving me that sweet bonus.
Yes, that's what you want, the glamour bonus. For other reasons. But this leads to
Just for Brenna. This is just for Brenna.
do you try to resist his seduction of a 40?
I'm not imposing it on
Good.
Brenna. This is just the state I'm in. I'm worth a 40. That's all.
No, if you're
Um,
seducing someone, you're putting active effort into it.
Oh, I mean, that was the glamour.
That was the glamour. It's not because it just not like look, just because it was like low effort, there was still effort put into it. Like, yes, it's not gonna go well, but yes. She's way too distracted. I think that's
It's
wait, I'm immune
It's a resist coercion.
to not seduction, but
Yeah,
like
you're
Cat Witcher thing.
you're immune to charm and all those charm persuasion things, but
Yep.
seduction is
Different.
different.
Resist coercion, 0 points. Let's go. No. I almost
No.
got halfway there. I almost crit.
you almost crit. To get it, but you're a 19. He is very distracting.
So distracting. I think she tries to look away, but then she's does the lip bite and just looks back like she can't help it.
I can see it. I can see
Yep.
it.
She's not gonna say anything because he's focused on flayed people that I'm supposed to be. But whatever, they're flayed. I didn't recognize them. Whatever.
Oh no, I didn't put in the bonus from oh, glamour was here. Cool. Sorry.
Cool.
Never mind me.
Okay.
Kadarn,
Nope. She's thoroughly seduced.
since apparently Brenna is distracted, are you going to do anything to try and know anything more about the unfortunate dead people?
If I'm gonna do the what?
You
Are
only
you trying to
rolled to
figure
know
out
about
who-
magic. You didn't find out anything about the actual dead bodies.
Like if we know.
No,
who they
well,
are.
no, but you asked me to roll spell casting earlier, and I sort of
Mhm.
went on the tangent for glamour.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did. Which is
So
why I'm
what
trying to bring
was-
you back from the tangent.
Yeah,
Loop it
The
back around.
weirdness.
Yeah, but okay, so, but what was the spell casting for?
You'll find out.
Okay. But yes, I'm gonna do
It was
awareness.
it was not like a spell roll. It was something else. that I
No,
needed.
I
both
think I'm
just
also
So distracted.
also
We're
I
like,
put 2 of my own luck in there.
oh
Um,
god.
so I'm
Okay.
just
We're just too...
Kadarin is even more distracted trying to look good for Brenna.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
No, we're just too distracted by each other to accomplish. We're just like,
Cool.
yeah, no, I don't know anything about this. We should go.
cool. We now have 1 brain cell.
We have one.
So apparently, when you go sightseeing, the aftermath of sightseeing involves being really distracted and distracted.
By all the sights that we saw.
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
And maybe feelings connected to them. I don't know, whatever. Who knows? I don't recognize them. Do you recognize them? We should probably just go.
I have no idea who they are.
All right, I'm going to teleport away to your cousin
Yes.
or someone else. Okay, sure. Let's do that. Be fine.
So I think
Let's go. Say it,
the
maybe.
portal is just gonna appear behind us, so we can just back out into it
Kadarin,
awkwardly.
Kadarin, you'll have a -3 to this roll.
Okay. For quick question.
Yes.
Eleanor did say that she wasn't at her place last time, right? She wasn't
Correct.
in Bruges.
No, she was on the last thing, and I don't know if Brenna told you this.
She did. She's
Okay.
between somewhere
Yeah,
between
yes,
Bruges and Matina. Yeah,
Yeah.
Castle.
Shoot.
Constance.
Let me grab a map.
This -3 by the way, is not because of your lack of knowledge of where she is. This is because of something else.
No, it's because I'm wondering if I try to pinpoint her directly, or if I try to go to like a place I know
Out of
in
the way,
between
yeah.
the 2 places. Because yesterday, you know,
frequents, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
things happened.
Makes sense.
And also
Yeah.
I don't want, you know, in case there's more of the Wild Hunt, I don't want me to appear there and they to suddenly appear all around us.
Mhm.
But I just need world map for a second.
It's
And I would have told you
pinned
the
in our
date I
chat.
got the letter, so we could.
It's pinned in our
you'd
chat.
probably be able to math it out.
The one that we're using is pinned in our chat. Because
Oh, yeah.
you know.
The one I posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matina.
No, not that one. Not that one. The one further down. The one I posted.
Ah, yes, that one.
Okay. Open in browser.
Yep.
Yes, I know it's a big file. So sorry. One. All right. You said between Matina and
Bruges. She was leaving Bruges on her way to Toussaint and was going to stop through Matina because it's one of those. It's either go through that pass at Erlwald
Wait.
or the pass at Stoke.
But- Matina is south of Toussaint.
No, Matina is.
Yes, she's
Yeah,
Yeah.
southwest of. It's.
she's
there-
going through the mountain pass rather than like around the mountains.
Yeah.
She's not going through Belhaven. She's going basically
Okay. So
straight
there's
south.
yeah. So there's a pass that's
Nazaire, and
yeah.
then
There's a pass
Castle
that's
Belfort.
in southern Centra. Right. Like there's the whole thing is because to go from Bruges to Toussaint, you have to go over the mountains of some right? From the Goramel Mountains. You could go through the pass at Belhaven, or you could go through the pass in that's south of Centra.
Yeah, it's the giant staircase.
Yeah, the giant
Mhm.
staircase. And because
she's taking that route.
she was taking that route because
Okay,
it's either
that makes sense. Okay.
one of these you go either you either go south and then west or then east, or you go east and then south. And she just
Yeah.
she chose to go this route because she could stop in Matina and see
Yeah.
Brenna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Which you all know
Think-
because that was in the letter. Or well, Brenna
Yep.
knows because that was in the
And
letter.
Brenda shared it. So
how long ago before I opened the portal? How long ago did my cousin leave Bruges?
She
I
was
would
ex-
have told him that. Yeah.
you knew that she was expected in Matina within like 3 days of when you had left, or yesterday, right? Based on the math.
So she's close.
Okay, so I would teleport to
Like Cara Vista.
on the road.
Mm-hmm.
No, to where the E of Matina is, of the country, not the city.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So,
between
yeah.
Stagiziori and
Mar-
Matina.
in between. Okay, north of the Stelta River.
Yeah. Oh yeah, way north of that.
Yeah, but
Between between the word Nazaire and the word Matina, if you will.
okay, that
Kind of,
works.
but closer to the word Matina.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your spell casting.
Yeah. With the
-3.
30.
30 is still good enough. You will still appear where you intended.
And we just walk backwards.
Yep. Whoop.
As you come out of this portal, appear.
We
on-
tried.
You did.
we just
You
we
did.
just both crit failed on like
You both crit
We
failed, and
schmucks.
sometimes
We
it
have no idea.
happens. Sometimes that just happens, which is, I'm all here for it. As you both appear through the portal in this open, mostly open grasslands plains of this section of Matina, where the biggest thing that they produce is horses.
mm-hmm. That's why I have such a nice horse.
It is. Matina is well known for their breeding of horses. Speed, power, training, intelligence. And as you appear through this portal, close to the road or away from it? Because with the 30, you can be wherever you want.
No, like, well, not dead center of the road. In case there's like something,
Mhm.
like a carriage
I meant, like-
passing by, I don't want to get
Yeah,
run
I meant
over.
like on the road in the sense that you wanted to be closer to the road, or did you want to be a little bit off of?
Yeah, no, closer to the road.
Okay. It's particularly here on the road. It's very slight rolling hills, but have y'all ever been to South Georgia?
Yeah.
Y'all can drive for hours and y'all see that traffic light. And it takes you a while to realize that that traffic light is like 30, 40 miles from where you are because there's nothing to visually interrupt your plane of view.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a while to get there. That's the kind of slight, and occasionally you'll come across a little, you'll come across a little rise that'll come up just enough to interrupt your plane of view, but nothing else. It is not as you remember it, Brenna. You've been to Matina. You've traveled through Matina
I have
frequently.
quite extensively. Yeah.
It looks frostbit.
Oh no.
Like when you
Like
have
the Wild
a
Hunt
field,
have been through here.
like the Wild Hunt
Yeah.
been through there, but you know how like a field and the frost just comes just that 2 days early before harvest comes in, and the entire field it should be 70 degrees for another week.
Yep.
But instead it suddenly drops overnight and it's the entire field is just a sheen of glass and ice that kind of withers everything that's there instantly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this isn't good.
Could you also roll me awareness, please?
Mm-hmm. I think seeing that snap Brenna to herself a little bit more. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll spend 3 points of luck. 26.
Okay, so you're going to realize 4 things. Number 1. You do not have your coin purse. Number 2.
It's fine. I didn't bring much with me to tea in Oxford anyway.
No, but what little you did have is no longer on you. Number 2. There are no signs of battle per se, but you can smell smoke in the distance.
Mhm.
That's very obviously not wood smoke. Something else is burning, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's not like somebody's burning a field, and it's not like somebody's burning like a campfire. Something else is burning, and it's that level of there's a textile component or something else inside that's changing the scent of whatever's burning just enough that you can't quite pinpoint what it is. It's beyond your current line of vision. You don't see it though. You don't see any smoke and you don't see any fire. That's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3. Kadarin is also missing his coin purse. And number 4, that cut that Kadarin had on his cheek
Mm-hmm.
is bleeding sluggishly.
Okay. So there's a number of things that are not good here. First of all, we're missing our coin purses. Second of all, third of all, you kind of this is all this. The wild hunt have passed through here, and these
shows.
crops were almost ready to harvest. This means a lot of people are going to be very hungry this winter. Fourthly, you're bleeding a bit right here. Let me slowly. Here, don't stop. Just let me. And she'll pull out some med stuff. Just give a little first aid check.
Go ahead.
I'll put a point of luck into it. Boop. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
All better.
You can okay. Random messages coming from people that I don't know. It's like, who are you? Oh, okay, I'll answer that later. You blot it and you realize it's not clotting.
Clotting powder. More clotting powder. Ooh. You're not coagulating? Even with clotting powder. But the good news is it's just a little area, so it'll take a while for you to all leak out.
Yeah, well, we'll figure something. Any signs of anyone other than the wild hunt around?
Oh, there's smoke in... I probably know what direction it's from with the 26.
It's to your east.
The smoke to the east. Doesn't smell like just regular wood smoke, like fireplace.
What would I know which settlement is east of us?
Brenna would probably know.
You would.
Yeah.
You
Mention it.
with the awareness you roll.
Martinezville.
Well, I mean, yeah, generic. There's a couple hamlets that are east of you, but where you?
Hillsville.
Yeah.
That's my
Actually,
favorite.
I can be more specific if you give me 20 seconds because I need to get rid of something that just.
My money's on Hillsville.
It's not on Hillsville, but good try.
That's a good name, Hillsville.
Yeah, but it's not Hillsville. It would be nice if it was Hillsville. Unfortunately, unfortunately. Sliding through my notes. Where is it? You know that you're within, let's say, 6 miles of the Cleaver home,
Okay.
as in
Say that.
Oswain Cleaver.
Oh no. I think she like does the math and you just see that. Oh no. About 6 miles away from a noble house, lesser minor nobility here in Matina. Knows them, they're pretty decent people.
And that would be the thing that's on fire right now? Their home?
That's what it would seem to be, yes.
Well, either my cousin has passed through here or she's bound to pass through here. How far away do you think this Cleaver home is?
5.5, 6 miles. Get there in a couple hours. Walk.
Walkable distance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can just go take a look. See
All
what
right.
happened, come back.
Sure. Sounds good. can walk and talk. A little chilly out today. It just sounds the most awkward of small talk. Like the
Yes,
equivalent
it-
of thumbs in pockets, but witchering, which means like thumbs on pommels of weapons.
Yes, it is unnaturally chilly. It's the wild hunt.
Yeah, it kind of suck.
You're not going to be
Hmm?
too distracted, are you?
Distracted by what? For what?
Anything for there might be violence coming up. Are you going to be able to handle yourself?
I'm great at violence. And Brenna says that with the confidence of like, very little can dissuade me from violence.
I don't doubt it. But you know what? Never mind.
No, but go on. We have nothing to do but talk for the next like 2.5, 3 hours. So please, what's on your mind, Kadan?
You stating the obvious.
Me? Just well, you know.
You don't usually state the obvious.
Mm-hmm. Strikes is the small talk thing, I guess. I've heard people do it sometimes.
We can also just walk in silence, you know.
Okay. All right.
And if you want, I'll just walk a few paces ahead of you so you can, I don't know, be as distracted as you want.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't stand on my left side.
Wait, I always forget which eye
That's
is the
her
one
eye
with the eye
she's
patch.
missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'll stay on this side.
She's like, there's like a moment, she's like, do we hold hands? No, that would be awkward. We shouldn't. I mean, we held a lot of other things last night. No, Brenna, what are you doing? Just play it cool, Brenna. Like, that's Brenna's inner monologue. Which is pretty obvious on her face, because again, she's not.
Is any of it going through the telepathy?
That's a greght question.
thing?
Pretty sure
Just-
she's to
just
focus
question.
on that.
Okay, I just wanna-
Although it would be pretty funny if it did.
To my knowledge, it has to be intentional. Unless,
Okay,
of
so
course,
yeah,
that
no.
you kind of brush your hand across the
She doesn't quite know what to do with her hands right
Yeah.
now. So, sure, for drama's sake, why not? That's and yeah, you can tell it's accidental. She's just thinking about you, so that's where the things go. Yeah.
Wait, what's she doing with your hands then?
Hmm?
You had
What
them
am
on
I-
the pump.
Yeah, she just was like, she doesn't know what to do with her hands. So
she
she's
keeps
just
grabbing
fidgeting.
she keeps
Yeah,
grabbing that
I think she's
vial
going for
of,
her pendant, like her amulet, but accidentally grabs the pendant with it. It's like to like fidget with, and so that gets transmitted through.
Hmm.
Telepathy.
And she's
So
not even looking at you. She's just like, play it cool, dead ahead.
But do I hear it?
Oh yeah, no, you'd heard that because I think it's much more dramatic for Kadarn to hear that than not.
Telepathically in your
Yeah.
mind.
Mhm,
Mhm.
you hear the 80s voiceover for the romance scene.
You're broadcasting your thoughts all over the place, Brenna.
What? What? Shit. And just back on the swords.
You've got to be careful with telepathy.
So it would seem that hadn't happened before. What did you hear?
Nothing that I would use against you.
Okay.
Rest assured.
Mm-hmm. This is fine. This is fine.
How about we just tackle one problem at a time?
Yep. What's the problem?
And you know,
It's just
if your noble husband was to fall in battle while we're gone, he doesn't finish the sentence. He is going to keep walking in quiet.
then what?
He's going to be
What?
Kadern just wants to see if like she's going to broadcast any thoughts about that.
It's just out loud. Just if then what? What? Finish your damn sentence, Kadan.
Oh look, more smoke.
And by this point, I think you crest that small hill, which is just enough to interrupt your line of sight. And you do see the outlying farms of what belong to the Cleaver estate.
How do they look?
On fire?
Oh, okay.
Actively
Like on fire with
fire?
People running around going like, "There's a fire!" Just on fire.
I mean, there are a couple of people that look like they're trying to put them out, but not quite as many as you expect. You do see a few. I mean, you don't have to roll for it. Your Witcher senses are going to be able to tell you. You see a few dead along
Oh,
the roadway.
right.
Peasants. You see barn, house, field aflame. You see a few people putting the fires out. And Kadern, you feel an urge. This chaos. This field of battle. On one hand, you feel concern, upset, however you choose to feel about these peasants dying the Wild Hunt, this destruction. But on the other hand, in the back of your mind, you start to feel a little glee? This sense of maybe if this destruction wasn't something you, well, someone you knew nominally cared about, it could be something fun. But that's not right, is it?
Yeah, no, he's gonna do his best to just repress this and not think about it.
What Brenna does with most of her stuff, I get it. I think seeing that Brenna immediately like Sirius is up, like repression time, and is just like, just serious mode, taking note of everything, ready for violence.
It doesn't look like there's violence to be had here. It looks like violence
You never know.
has passed it by. I know. I'm just letting you know what it looks like.
She's got to be ready though. Never trust what it looks like.
Never trust what it looks like. Could you roll, both of you, courage, please?
Did so great on that last week. I'll put
you
my
did.
last 2 points of luck in it. 21.
Yeah, I'll put 2 points in it.
Nice. Look at us, so courageous.
20. Yeah, I'll keep it at 20.
You both are able to like refocus yourselves. You're both professionals on some level. You can come
On some level.
It's a distant level, but it's there. There's a
Yeah.
level of professionalism, maybe, that you can feel, and you can start to kind of take over. Brenna, as you kind of glance around, it doesn't look like there's any, like at this point you would know, you would be able to see if there were anything else burning, and it doesn't look like the Cleaver estate is on fire. Just this
Okay.
one homestead. You don't know what that means, but it at this point, there's no other
Something she'll
floor.
have to investigate
Eventually.
later.
But that little cut on Kadarin is bleeding a little faster.
Just gonna stick my thumb over it at some point. Not yet. It bleeds anymore though. Just like plug it like a little Dutch boy.
Yeah. Is it still?
It's fast, bleeding fast now.
Stitch it. Maybe we should just go to Ardzo very quickly.
That's what you feel like is necessary. We can detour.
Question, GM.
I could stitch it up though, if you really wanted.
I mean, it's
It's
not
probably
even.
better though.
Yep.
Did we hear any sound coming from the burning like estate?
There are a few people who are crying and a couple people who are trying to put it out, but it's not
Oh,
like
good.
it's not the estate that's burning. It's one of the outlying farms.
But not
So-
everyone's
no,
dead.
so-
That's
not
good.
everyone's dead. No. And
So
they're-
I would, yeah. Then in that case, I would rather we go there, and we'll take care of the bleeding after.
All right.
But Lindy has to leave us.
I do. Feel free to use Brenna's investigative abilities. Well,
I have her sheet. I'll keep it up.
I
No.
will feel free to use Brenna. I didn't hear the rest of your sentence, but that's
Wait,
cool.
what? Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go. I love you all dearly, but I have a
Bye-bye.
dinner date.
All right. We'll catch you next time, Lindy. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll do your spiel at the end. Hey, everybody. I'll just take a quick second to fix all the cameras. And... nope.
And I mean, if it makes it easier, we can just teleport back to the castle
Okay.
to get stitched, and then, it's instant travel. So
That works.
if Brenna, I don't know if Brenna would rather stay behind to investigate and look
I think
while I just pop in and out.
I think based on what was said, Brenna wanted to go with you and was going to. She was concerned about your leading.
Then I will. Do I have a thing?
I don't know. Do you?
No, I'm looking at my spells for just a quick moment. I don't have anything that would actually help them, unless they want it to burn faster. So I'll just portal out and make a note to come back.
Okay. So, where are you portaling to?
The courtyard of Brenna's castle.
The inner courtyard, or the courtyard, not the Bailey. Yes.
So
Courtyard,
yeah.
where
Basically, yep, right
where-
where you pinged.
where the flowers are.
Yes. Where,
So-
there are less chances of us getting hit by a random projectile if they are under attack.
Your DV is 3 points higher at the moment.
I rolled a 27.
Then you're fine. Sorry, I didn't see that was your spellcasting. Yes, you're fine. And look, I have to say these things when they happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's just, I clicked like right away because I'm getting used to just teleporting and having to roll all the time.
So, appearing instantly, let's see something, because the guards are on high alert. since the bombardment, and they've been very, very good. And they got improvement on their stat. So there's a moment where there's one of the guards sees you and immediately turns with one of the blades, but then recognizes his countess, and you're like, slides the blade back into the sheath, and it's like, I apologizes, and like kind of walks away hurriedly. It's like, this is beyond my pay grade. Magically appearing countess and random mage person, above my pay grade.
Yeah, you'd better pretend that nothing happened.
There's a pause. Brenna's gonna sock you in the arm. Just because I feel like that would be something that she would do.
He almost hit you.
No, he didn't. And he is appropriate to be on alert. I can't do her voice right now, I'm sorry. Falling Russian and not German.
Anyway, I'm going to go get Arzo.
And she's gonna go upstairs. Like, she kind of gestures like, I'm gonna go talk to people. So she will be around if you need her. I have the stats if there needs to be any house rolls. Arzo, where do we find you? Let's stop. Rewind. Remember how there was that record scratch of, how did I get to be here in this moment? Let's record scratch that back to last night. At about 7:30. Well, 7 o'clock. No, earlier than that, because you said you were going to scry at 7 o'clock, and you went back in time. You're muted, Trooper.
Yes, I scried at, I was at 7 o'clock. I scried at 6:30 because I do not scry in the present. I scry in the past.
Mm-hmm. Went backwards. And you had told Arzo that you were going to go check on them. Correct?
Well, I told everybody that I was going to check on them. Everybody knew.
No, but I meant
that
in
I
the
was going to be
physical.
checking on them.
You did. But I meant in the physical, you left dinner and you told Arzo that you were going to check on them.
Was Arzo having dinner with us? Because we were in the main hall, or was he
I don't
with
know.
his gal?
Where was Arzo for dinner?
Let's say the main hall.
Because he was there with his family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, he would go back with his family up, and he would check, right? He would do his scrying, and then he would probably wait until the morning after breakfast to go and tell Arzo.
So, breakfast.
To talk to Arzo.
Great Hall. The morale is pretty good, again. The guards are on point. They successfully repelled this bombardment. No one was majorly injured. Gavril was seen around and engaging and looking like the military leader that people are turning to in this moment. There's a lot of positive feelings of like, okay, this is not a good situation, but we've got this. It's not horrible. So after breakfast, Arzo, where are you found?
Tending to his utensils, his healing tools, touching up on some stuff, and probably about to go spend some time with Elsa.
So
But he'll be in his own.
In your room, or in the room that you turned into a healing tent on the first floor?
I probably wouldn't leave my tools in the healing tent room, so he'd probably take his tools back with him to his sleeping area.
So you're on the third floor
Mm-hmm.
rooms. And Math, you do know where Arzo is if you wanted to go hunt for him.
No. I have a concussion. I imagine at some point in time, the Countess and Kadarin will pop back up because it looked like everything was going to go fine. And then I imagine we'll have a debrief together, all of us, and they'll let us know what happened.
So, just for clarification, Ardzo knows nothing.
That is correct.
Good to know. Because
I mean, he didn't tell him anything.
Cadarn and Brenna left Oxenford relatively early. Now, accounting for a little bit of time change, you could find Ardzo in his rooms still, Cadarn.
Knock, knock.
Come in.
Door opens, you would see I don't think the glamour would still be up. So it's you know an beautiful, handsome, not supernaturally so. Cadarn come in holding his cheek, and I think blood is still probably like flowing down his hand. All right, so I have a bit of a problem. So good morning.
Good morning. Does a 19 awareness for a sense of smell pick up anything peculiar?
I'm going to say it picks up 3 things with a 19.
Because dwarves and
Not-
their nose.
The dwarf is one thing. It's also the werewolverine is the other.
Yeah.
And also being related to Zerny. I mean, I feel like
Also being related to Zerny. So you pick up 3 things. Number 1, blood. Number 2, wood smoke. Burning, or not wood smoke. Burning, like something's burning. Smoke. But not smoke like that he was on top of a fire, but like within an area where smoke has been coming off of. And number 3, a shit ton of sex. We're talking 42nd Street peep show in the 80s level of sex smell.
It's a lot of
because
friction.
somebody did not take a shower in the morning. They just got dressed real fast to go check out flayed bodies.
I
Uh,
do
he's-
not have time to shower. Also, I have perfume, I'll let you know, and I had glamour.
Okay, well,
Right.
if you still shit and spray Febreze, you can still smell the shit.
You're right. You know what?
So Arzo's
I'm
you're gonna walk in, you're gonna say the thing that you said,
yeah.
and and Arzo's just gonna look at you with a piercing gaze. There's no words that are gonna come out of his mouth, and he's going to put his tools back in like his leather like thing, roll him up, and stick him in his apron, and walk right past you to go to the people that need help in his first aid tent.
Arzo, what the hell? I
Uh,
am bleeding from a wound that will not stop.
Then you can meet me in the tent with everyone else.
You could have just said that.
And he walks. He continues walking to the tent.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
So yeah, so there's this side storeroom that was emptied out and turned into like a medical room and hospital room, which is next to the good doctor's actual you have a doctor. Gavril has a doctor on staff for multiple reasons, and this particular doctor is also so he has like an office room. And this storeroom that was next to it was emptied out and kind of transformed into a medical wing to expand in, the number of people who were injured in the initial attack and then everything else. And so it's still kind of like this extra medical wing, that Ardzo turned into a healing tent and will remain a healing tent for another 48 hours based on the roll that you made. And as you walk in, there's one guard who's there who's, just the doctor is tightening like a bandage across his bicep. It very much looks like he perhaps, during the initial bombardment, or during the latest bombardment that happened yesterday, he perhaps, ducked a little too quickly under something and got just scratched on a stone wall or something, just enough that it needs more long than actually deep kind of injury, something that needs attention but not major concerns. And he's on the other side of, like, other end of the room. And the doctor... Who is the doctor? I have... Statted everybody out. Dr. Eric Cohn. It kind of like nods at you, finishes tying off the bandage, like claps the guard on the shoulder, as like, and is nothing else you need? Get out of my infirmary for someone else who's actually bleeding. And then kind of glances over and can see like Kadarin coming in behind Ardzo with his hands still pressed against his face, and is like that individual. Cut yourself shaving? Mage?
Aaron, please take a seat on one of the beds. Please, I will take a look at you.
Yes, thank you, Ardzo.
So you got this one then, Ardzo?
I do.
Yes, alright. I have some work I need to be doing downstairs. Do you require further my assistance?
I do not. Thank you for asking.
Have a pleasant day. And
You too.
walks out with the guard and just kind of, chill.
How did this happen?
5 members of the Wild Hunt jumped us. Or was it 7? I didn't really count. There were a lot of them. Armored up, head to toe. They could do magic that I have never seen work that way. And they could follow me wherever I went. And so they hogtied me. They cut my cheek to send a message.
To whom?
And then I teleported out.
Send a message to whom?
Probably Eleanor.
He starts cleaning the wounds. Did you accomplish
go ahead
what
and
you
roll healing hands.
do I get the tent bonus?
Yes, you get the tent bonus because you're in the tent.
Oh no, that's not what I want. Okay. That's a 2, correct?
Yes. 37
That's a big time crit.
is a big time crit. You almost double crit.
I almost double crit. I was 1 away from a double crit.
That would have been so good. So with that 37, there is some sort of residue in the wound that's preventing it from clotting. But there's also something, but that residue isn't anything that you would think of as natural.
There's a residue in this, and I can't quite figure out what it is. Was anything placed in this cut before I looked at it?
No, they just cut me open. Well, cut me open. Scratch my cheek, I guess.
I don't recognize it.
It's one of those instances you can recognize components of it, like you recognize the reactions of the components to it. Like there's an anticoagulant in the wound that's preventing the wound from healing.
Okay.
You can immediately rule out the general anticoagulants that you can think of.
Yeah.
The most common that you can think of. So there's something, if you could get like a sample of it, you could do some analysis on it to determine what's, it's almost like it's not an individual natural substance, it's a combination of substances, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There seems to be something in here that is preventing your blood from clotting. So unfortunately for you, I'm going to have to take a sample out of your cut. All right.
No, please. I was going to ask you to do this.
Okay. Try to be still. And he'll take some of the metal tools and like a pincer, try to pincer small pieces of the flesh out to put into like maybe a small marble dish, like several different samples. Yeah.
Yeah.
To kind of test to see if there's a lot of individual ones. You're going to have to run a lot of different tests on different samples.
Mm-hmm. Are you being gentle?
Nope. No.
Okay.
Nope. I have a job to do, and niceties aren't for everyone.
As you rough up your normally delicate job, I think. Do you think you're doing it rough enough that I would like notice?
Okay. Well, the roughing. So I'm not intentionally trying to cause pain, but I'm just not intentionally trying to be delicate, if that makes sense.
But it's more like, is this uncharacteristic for how you've treated Kadern before in the
Yeah.
With the sepsis.
So,
okay.
So the closer you are, the more kinder he is. Now if like in a siege where like you have a high quantity of people that you have to treat, right? You have to be a different way because you have to get a lot of shit done. So you're getting treated like a rank and file now
instead of the VIP. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You've lost the VIP medical treatment membership.
Ardzo.
Yes.
Have I done anything to anger you?
Oh, you tell me. I can't recall. I didn't see you do anything that would anger me. Did you do anything that would anger me?
Think so. It's just you're a little less friendly this morning.
There's a siege going on, Kadern.
There was a siege going on when you stitched me up from sepsis, and you didn't really
I had a little more time on my hands then.
I see. Well, I'll take as little time as I have to.
Till I figure out what this is. We just can't be certain, there's a lot of responsibility overall, I feel like, amongst our group of friends. We don't want to take any risks that we don't have to take, we don't want to do anything that would ruin anything.
Of course.
So what, how did you make it out of the wild hunt situation? And is Brenna okay?
Brenna is okay. She's somewhere in the castle. I just used a lot of portals and jumping around. I went to the Korath Desert for about 5 minutes.
Right. Did they follow you?
Yeah, they did. That's where they got me.
And what is the message that they were trying to send?
My guess is they're trying to get Eleanor out of hiding.
And what happens then?
They capture her, they bring her back home.
Is that why the siege is happening?
I have no idea.
I've yet to connect those dots then.
They are everywhere that I've been. That's the only connection I can see. Also, we spoke to Alzor.
And how did that go?
Eh,
That is
There
not
is
the
a
reassuring
plan.
sound.
well, I mean, none of us are dead.
What is the plan?
If we can capture one of their people that help open portals, we can probably send them all back home.
Permanently, they won't ever come back.
They, according to Alzor, shouldn't.
How does that work?
Apparently, the people that can open portals, like I do, we have special blood. I don't know more than that. Alzor was deliberately vague. His plan was to bleed Eleanor dry, which is very short-sighted on his part. But the idea was use one, close the door, lock it. Be done with it.
Well, is that everything that happened on the trip? Any other information that would be helpful?
I don't know. Do you plan to check me for venereal diseases?
Do you need to be checked for venereal diseases?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because I believe witchers are immune to diseases, right? So they can't be carriers.
Just trying to avoid this conversation, asshole.
Oh, you should have started with that.
No,
You should have.
I
Yes,
don't want to talk. Why? Why did
you should have
do
just said.
It was completely not the responsible thing to do.
I was hogtied, Artzo. I am a victim here.
You could. Sorry, did you tell me before that you teleported when you were hogtied? Or did they just let you out of the hogtie so you could cast your magical spell? Do not play the victim with me, because this could be a lot more painful.
What? Okay, wait. No, you don't want to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. Brenna and I were in
It's a
Oxenford.
little late now. I didn't want to talk about it, but now that we're talking about it, I fucking can't stop talking about it, okay?
Well, okay. Why are you angry?
Because it was stupid.
Why?
Why? We're in the middle of a siege.
Yes, and
You
I could
go-
not have come back before spending the night.
And you go on the reconnaissance mission to gather information, to meet people.
Yes, and then I needed time to be able to portal back here. One way or another, we were stuck in Oxenford. So we did some sightseeing.
You don't have to put quotes around it. I know what you mean.
So we stayed in Oxenford and fucked from about 6 p.m. to, I don't know, a bit past midnight, I think.
Oh, and did you get the rest that you needed?
Yes, but then we portaled out of there to somewhere along the Matino Road and then portaled back here. And now I am very, very tired.
I am not a Puritan by any stretch of the imagination, but I think now is a really shitty time to start fucking your friends.
I beg to differ. Arzo, chances are we will not live to see tomorrow.
Okay?
Would you like to spend as much time as you can with the people you have feelings for. You know, maybe, I don't know, do them on the kitchen table.
And have you ever thought about the consequences of we might just not lose. We could win, and you have to fucking deal with it.
Well, yes. Wait, what do you think I'm going to do?
That is not the question I can answer.
No, because I think
Orgy
you
champion Kadern.
I believe, Dr. Arzo, that you think I will just up and vanish and leave a heartbroken Brenna behind.
Why, dude? She's capable, first off, because one, if you go away, she's got like 3 other people. One of which is
then why do you care that we did it?
Because it is really not a good time for anybody to be starting something new and fresh.
We're not starting, we're finishing something. There were months of tension. Your special, I don't know, lycanthropic senses didn't pick up on that?
Oh no, they picked up on it, and I had the conversation with her specifically not to do it.
You told her not to do it?
I did. Not because I don't think highly of you.
No, that's okay. I will
Look, if I were to write all of this stuff down on paper, okay, that would be an incredibly foolish thing to do for anyone, all right? Not just you, okay? I'm sure you were very skilled. I'm sure you had a great time. I don't care. Don't follow up with that. What I do care about is jeopardizing the situation, that more lives could be lost because of emotions. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yes.
I feel like I know you, but I don't know everyone well enough in a heightened emotional state. There are better times. There are better times to have made the decision that you have made.
No.
So it could have happened, 2 weeks ago, right? That
no,
feels
because
like
2 weeks ago I was in Kedwin with Yonto.
Maybe a week ago then.
A week ago, we were in Mahakam, and there were falling things and traps and stuff, and we didn't have time.
Sounds like a shitty excuse. I'm sure you had time. If you had time running from the wild hunt and you just have to stay at a place overnight. Come on, just be real. You could have done it a week ago. It's just a really poor time to do it now.
I could have, but I didn't know if she would have. And I wasn't going to jeopardize that.
And so you can promise me then in this that decisions moving forward, there's not going to be any hesitation, aquardity, or sweaty hands? Because let's be real, we're going to need the people to act hastily.
Lord Arzo, it's been somewhat a time before we've heard anything from 3-time Orgy Champion Kadern or Her Grace. Oh.
Hello.
3-time Orgy Champion Kadern, you're here. I was just waiting for you both to arrive back from Oxenfurt.
And arrive we did.
I've got some interesting samples that I might need your help in being able to identify. Some substances that are preventing his blood from clotting.
Oh.
If you would mind taking a look at them, Lord Meth.
Of course. Yes. All right.
And
I will just take them.
I need some for my own testing, but if there's a natural substance on here that you might be able to identify, I would love your help in doing so.
I would be honored. I don't know what happened with Alzor. I'm going to take
Weren't you supposed to look up on us?
Yes, But when I looked up on you, you were not in a meeting with Alzor. Because I was going to look in on you before 10 o'clock in the evening,
Yes.
but after you would have had your tea meeting.
Yes, well, tea lasted very, very. It ended abruptly.
Yes, well, I didn't see that part of it.
No,
so
I bet
just-
you saw. Which part did you see? The
Oh, no.
Raider Skellige ship.
Thank you so much, Lord Arzo, for this sample.
Or the Korath Desert?
Oh, I
or the
am very
tent?
happy to go and look in on that. But I did see that you were healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, that you were healthy and everything's. But we probably should not have this discussion here in the healing tent. Would be happy to.
You don't need to
right.
walk on eggshells, Lord Math.
But there are
I've
many people in this
had
healing tent.
peepers before. It's fine. Did you enjoy it?
I am going to recommend we reconvene, not here. Hello, good doctor. It's nice to see you. Someplace where I could do my experiments on the whatever this is better. You know, I don't like to be distracted by all of the people when I'm doing my investigations.
I am currently wounded, and so I need medical attention until I'm wounded no longer.
I imagine that Lord Arza we could all three of us could reconvene together someplace, perhaps Lord Arza's quarters.
That is fine if that is where everyone wants to meet. Is it feeling any better, Kadern?
It doesn't really hurt. It just keeps flowing.
It's nice to see you as well, and also you. Yes, I think we'll shall we move to Lord Arzo's quarters?
Yes, I can do some of the tests on the tissue there.
Excellent.
Are you
As-
fine
just-
to
as
walk,
can I.
Kadern?
Yes, I am. And I'll address the other doctors in the room. I will
There
say,
is no other doctor in the room.
Just the
Oh,
one guy,
good.
right? Because we're the
He
big healing
left.
tent.
He left.
He left.
This is a room that I made into a healing tent. It's not the
Yeah.
healing tent.
oh, so if there's no one else, good. Then let's just get on to it.
So I thought this was the place where the people were getting tended to their wounds.
There were, but there was only one person getting tended, and he left to go back to work, and the other doctor saw the two come in and asked if Arzo needed assistance. Arzo said no, and so the doctor's like, well, I have my other job to do, which involves torture. It's like, do you need my assistance healing somebody? Okay, I need to go make somebody bleed downstairs. It'll be fine. Have fun.
Yes, but right. I do think this is a secure place to have such conversations. You know, there are always people everywhere.
Well, if no one's here, then let's talk about the tier. I'm
Right.
done. I've said my piece. I kind of feel like a dick. I just
About
had to
what?
get that out there.
Get what?
You know what? You saw it.
No,
Now everyone's
but I-
making it an awkward thing except Brenna and I.
wait, I don't know what Lord Arzo said. I just walked in.
Okay. All right. I said I didn't think that was the greatest decision to do at this point in time.
Hmm.
Are we over it now?
I can still do my job well.
I'm sorry.
Good.
It seems as if, and I don't mean to be assuming things, but it seems as if there's some sort of tension in the room right now. That seems correct.
Yes. Yes, there is.
All right. Why?
You know why. You saw it.
No, but why is there tension?
I don't know. And I looked to Arzo.
You don't know? You don't think that Countess Brenna, the wife to the lord of this castle and romancer of high vampires, you don't know
What?
why it's
What?
It's not like everyone is going to come after me. And if they do, it's just going to be
not much different than things are currently.
exactly.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by romancer of higher vampires? What does that mean?
It is a euphemism. It is a euphemism, Lord Maff.
For what?
You know, you've never heard that before. He'll look over to Kadern for help.
Have you, Lord
No.
Maff, have you ever read Vampire Erotica?
Well,
It is a
as
very
druid-
select. If you tell me that you don't read books because they're made of dead trees, I swear to all the gods, I will warp you into the Sedna abyss.
First off, I don't think you can. But secondly, they are made of dead trees. That's a thing to note if you do that. Now, I think there are other more sustainable ways to make things like books or scrolls, but also the oral tradition is something you should really look into.
If you want, I can oral tradition you Vampire Erotica, so you will understand why we're talking about romancing higher vampires.
All right. So you and Her Grace also read Vampire Erotica with each other last night. Is that what you're telling me? Or is this like a lead up or a thing that you
Okay.
have done? I wasn't watching very long. Usually just about less than a minute. I just peeped in to see if you're all right.
Then
and it
during
turns out
that
you
minute,
were.
did you see us read Vampire Erotica?
No,
No.
but you're bringing
All
up
right.
Vampire Erotica. I don't
I'm
know
bringing
what
it up because of the title that Arzo gave her. That's all. She is part of a select, let's call it, sphere of people who enjoy this type of reading. That is all. We poke fun at the Countess for reading these things, and that's it.
I see.
Which reminds me, I have to buy fake teeth.
Who soon?
Goodness. I'm sure there's some sort of sustainable method, especially like if you're going to sort of eat an animal for food, you can then use its skin.
There are books made out of animal skin. It's
Yes,
vellum.
Of course. Yes, you could have some vellum sort of things. I don't know if these things might be possible.
But erotica books are noteworthy for being written out of, cured human skin.
Oh, really?
Specifically scrotum. Yeah, I know. It's, like I said, a very specific subculture.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, and
Look. I, as the GM, need a deceit roll on that one. Regardless of whether or not Math believes it, I need a deceit roll on that.
Sure. That's just a 15.
15. Great. Okay, thanks. Moving on.
People who volunteer for this? And nonetheless, I'm so sorry if I know that you two have good friendship things going on, my lords, but what did happen with Alzor? And are we all right to apprehend him now? I mean, what happened? I did not go because I did not want to have to see that malefactor and then not arrest him or apprehend him in some way for his crimes against everything. So tell me what the value. How did this meeting go?
We need to find one of the members of the Wild Hunt that can open portal. We need to capture them, and then something, bleed them dry, and then winning.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What could you? What? How did this meeting with
Alzor wanted to find
Alzor.
Eleanor and bleed her like a pig. I said no. His plan had a few. Well, let's say he probably met the Wild Hunt less often than we did.
And wait a minute. Presumably, he wanted to capture her and bleed her dry because she is the queen of the Wild Hunt. Blood, of course, I know much more about blood, but is special, has special properties, especially the blood of those of quality, which
Yes.
presumably means that also you, as the king of the Wild Hunt, would also have this specific blood.
Yes, but
which
I don't want to be bled dry, and
Well,
neither
yes,
does
well, neither-
Eleanor. Probably
course.
neither do the soldiers loyal to the
is-
current king of the Wild Hunt. But they're
Well,
gonna
now,
have to do as the invading force.
wait, one moment, because let me ask a question. Is it only the nobility who can open up these portals?
I don't know.
Is that what makes you nobility, and that's why they're chasing you, because your noble lineage allows you to open up portals between worlds? Is that the case?
Probably. Kadern is
Ooh,
really
yes.
thinking about like, do I finally break the truth?
Because this would make sense, because if anyone could do it, right, and then Alzor wouldn't need to get specifically you or Alienor.
But
He would just get
Alzor hasn't
any old
met.
Wild Hunt.
Yes, but Alzor hasn't met the Wild Hunt, I believe. He knows about them theoretically.
Well, they
Which
have been
means he
chasing
doesn't-
us, and he's been
If-
scrying on you. So I feel like, and
I
also
think
right now,
he's
the Wild
only
Hunt
been
is in everywhere.
Yes, but
invading this
he's never
place.
seen them appear, follow, or anything of the sort. I believe that Alzor knows things from a theoretical point of view. He understands what they are. We've seen them in action. We know who they are. We know that part of their army is comprised of people from here.
Yes, but I would like some clarification. So first off, from what you have told me, Alzor is obsessed with you all and trying to murder you and set you up and sending higher vampires after you and all of this. And the reason why was somewhat unknown. And so in this meeting, he told you he wanted to stop the Wild Hunt. Was this what this meeting was about?
Yes, that was his plan all along, apparently, except he never told us, which, we could have pooled our resources together, but he didn't do it.
If he wants to stop the Wild Hunt, well, first off, if what you said is correct, that in order to stop the Wild Hunt in his mind, but this fellow is clearly mad and unstable.
Yes, he
has
is.
to bleed. Yes, he has to bleed dry one of the nobility of the Wild Hunt, which would be either you or Alienor.
Or a greater number of nameless people that we haven't met yet.
Is all right. So this fellow, Alzor, has the ability to trap people in dreams for decades, to do all sorts of things. He's he thinks he's extra special powerful. If we have two members of the Wild Hunt in our dungeon, I imagine if he really were all that powerful, he could have spent some time trying to get them rather than getting you, unless
But-
your blood or Alienor's is the key.
The thing is there's not just Eleanor and I, is what I've been trying to tell you.
Hmm.
There
Well,
are more. Because otherwise, the
here's-
Wild Hunt would have never been able to come here, since Eleanor and I are here. So they have to have someone else, distant family, whoever. I don't really care.
Yes. Well, but here's the thing: if there's a larger number of your family, then what in the world is Alzor doing? If he could have gotten a number of people, he could have just gotten them and then bled them. I don't quite understand why he's so obsessed with attacking Mahakam and sending all sorts of foglets. Like, this fellow is a
He is unhinged. I will give you
Yes.
that. What I think is he was doing all of this to prepare his, let's call it, the lock that will bar the gate between worlds. He prepared all of this, which, if we had known, we could have probably helped. Instead, he got in our way. We got in his way, but that's his problem, not ours. The thing is the last, in his mind, the last phase of his plan required my cousin's blood.
Mhm.
And it might just so happen that it doesn't require. Because if the Wild Hunt can appear here, it means they have people among them that can make them appear here. So Eleanor and myself aren't the only people that can do it.
Yes. Might I, Your Majesty, put forward one small thing? Perhaps you might not believe anything he has to say. The last time we saw him, he had puppeted some young man, put a glamour on him, and cut his tendons and like spiked him to a chair, and then attacked us just willy nilly, and then had
Yes, like I said,
artisan
he
woman
is
inside a
unhinged.
sarcophagus. There's no evidence that anything he says is even true, that he even knows what he's talking about. That, especially if, as you say, he only knows theory, not practice, this whatever weird fantasy dream space that he's made up may not have any sort of bearing on reality whatsoever. He might have just, well, I mean, he's already profaned a priest of Eopatis. This fellow, I don't know why we should listen to anything he has to say. He's shown no evidence that he is at all
Because as
connected
much
with
as his methods are wrong,
Mhm.
so far, the last time Alzor did something, tried to do something, tried to fix
Mhm.
an issue that plagued the entire world,
Mhm.
it kind of worked.
Well, exactly how the last time I saw him try to do something, it was when he puppeted that fellow and tried to murder us in that dungeon. for
He
no particular reason other than
created
to taunt us.
witchers. He
Yes,
created
and witches.
Brenna.
Yes, witches are a bit of a blight. They're unbalanced nature. They just run around murdering monsters.
They
willy-nilly.
have made
It's
the
not-
world safer in
No, actually,
50 years than it's been in ages.
Safer for whom? The unbalanced nature.
For
This is a larger
everyone.
question. No, not at all. Listen, the point here is that I don't know why you even believing that his strange plan might even work, especially since it involves trying to murder your wife or you.
Well, then, my lord, find a better plan. Because right now, there's only one plan. That one.
Made by someone who's mad.
Then
Seems
come
to
up with
have-
something better.
Well, first we should have probably apprehended that fellow and had to take him to some sort of tribunal. Now,
For what?
no.
By the time we put a trial up, we're all dead. And Mahakam is razed to the ground, and so is this place.
Yes, well, my point is, you spent some time meeting this fellow who probably was trying to. I'm surprised he didn't try to kidnap you or some such. But right now, this place is being under siege by the Wild Hunt. Normally, when somebody has a siege, they have some sort of demands. They've not even had a parley yet. So I assume there should be some sort of parley so we can find out what is going on with them. You don't just have a siege and not say anything. You can't get concessions if you don't ask for anything. Then no parleys whatsoever.
It's up to
We'll
them
just
to
see
ask
that.
for a parley, not for the besieged.
Well, of course, I'm not in charge of this place at all. They can do whatever they're going to do. But it's a bit of a larger situation. If there's no plan to do anything here, and they don't plan to do anything besides just sit around and attack us randomly for a while here or there, a siege with no goals, no demands, no parley, sort of pointless, isn't it? Just sort of sitting
Yes.
about. So,
No, I think the reason they're here is they're waiting for the same person we are waiting for. And they hope to catch her before she reaches us.
who?
Eleanor.
What about your wife?
The Wild Hunt wants her. She's on her way here.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. She's on her way here. Oh,
Oh, I thought Brenna had told everyone. I looked at Ardzo.
oh.
Don't look at me. I didn't know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
no,
I
I
was
know.
just being kept in the dark because Brenna likes to. Never mind.
That is a weird sentence not to finish.
So, your wife is coming here. Well, I imagine she'll see that there's a siege and then not come further, because that would be dangerous. And weren't you supposed to be kept separate so that this sort of thing wouldn't happen?
Well, here's the other thing: is I was kidnapped after meeting with Alzor,
Oh.
not by Alzor himself, but by the Wild Hunt. They did that little number to my face to send a message to
see.
Eleanor. So I get the
So
feeling they
Taylor-
really, really want her to come out of hiding.
Well, how did you escape? Well, you're quite competent. I'm sure you're able to get out of that.
There's just about nowhere in this world that can keep,
Which is why you're
save
thinking
for
of
maybe,
running.
well, anyway.
Yes, it's quite dramatic. So they're trying to. Well, why don't you send a message to Eleanor and tell her not to come?
Because I don't know where she
Yeah.
is. I wanted to do that a few hours ago, except this started bleeding and not stopping. So we came back
Well,
here.
Right, well, I will do my part investigating whatever that sample is to see what we can do about that. But clearly, if what they want is to get you and her, I would recommend that you don't let her come here, and that you also leave. You certainly have to sort of perhaps go on the run. By the way, where might I find this Alzor? I'm going to start doing my analysis on my half of the
I
sample.
have no idea where he went.
You didn't
He
track him or
tried to
something?
take something from me. Brenna stabbed him.
Oh, well, good for her.
Yes, it was rather a nasty wound.
Good for her. I
Yes,
understand
but
it's
he
all very
disappeared.
difficult. Bother. I'm going to start doing my analysis. Lord Ardzo, are you all right?
Yes, I'm just a little flustered. You know, if it feels like the end of all things, then you hope it's not, but
It feels like it is.
Well,
and you know, with that comes a lot of acceptance. So
mm,
I do apologize for reacting the way that I did, but I still think what I think. You are still my friend. You are still one of the closest people to me.
well, thank
And
you.
I would not want to jeopardize that for everyone in this room. Not, God, I wish that was poorly timed. But you know what? You understand what I'm getting at, Kadarin. I'm sorry. Let me know if I can help in any way.
Now, this, and then
Would you-
we'll see. Take it one day at a time.
probably
Ardzo-
good of cleaning out that wound. So
Arzo, how do you intend to? What are you doing to try and figure out what's wrong?
So with the various multiple tissue samples, trying to run tests where an individual element would react to another element, so I can like any natural substances, like rule out things that it's not, and potentially find out the natural elements that it is. And then, my objective in communicating with Lord Maff was seeing if there was any potential source of like nature magic in there, and then I would give some tissues as well to tissue samples of himself to Kadarin to see if there's magic, like straight magical stuff to it.
So in that case, you have two options that you can roll here.
Mhm.
You can roll either alchemy or diagnose.
Okay.
And as you have the full healing tent here, I would say that you would also have like a full alchemy kit,
Yeah.
anything you would want with that. So you will get different answers depending on what you do.
Okay.
We'll let you do that roll. Math,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, which one are you choosing? Sorry.
Alchemy.
Alchemy. Okay.
What would I get the 2 bonus in the
Yeah.
healing 10?
Yeah, it's the effectively because you have the healing tent and the alchemy kit, you're gonna get the +2 bonus from the healing tent. Yep.
Ooh.
30 is a very nice number. We'll come back to that in a minute. Math. What are you doing with this blood sample that's coming out of the slowly leaking wound? It looks almost like he cut himself shaving kind of level of cut, but it's still not clotting.
As well. It's not ending. Well, that's unfortunate, really. Let me see. Well, I think I'm going to wait for Lord Ardzo to finish his work so that I can take whatever information he has and see how I might be able to supplement it, if at all.
Okay. Ardzo, with a 30, it takes you not long, but not a short period of time, right? Like, and the time isn't extra, it's just the natural time to let the reactions occur. It's just what that takes. So, like, say an hour, maybe an hour and a half. You can determine that there's a combination of natural plants, like as distilled quantities of those natural plants in the wound. A combination of fenugreek, anise, rue, and pennyroyal. But there's something else there that's behind it that you can't identify. That it just is not something that you've ever come across. It's not something you've ever experienced. It's some sort of mineral of some sort that seems to be like a binding agent for these plants.
So fenugreek, anise root, and what was the third?
Anise root, fenugreek, rue, R-U-E, and pennyroyal.
Okay. He'll relay that information to the room.
You, Ardzo, know that those are all natural anticoagulants. You also know that pennyroyal and rue have been used for centuries to induce miscarriages.
He'll relay all that stuff as well.
And you know that there's a mineral behind there that you just can't recognize. It's not something you've ever come across.
Yeah.
Mineral. Well, perchance you have that elven crafter who sort of specializes in strange metals. Perhaps he might be able to recognize it. His name Kerwin.
Yes, we can go ask Kerwin.
Yes, I mean, if he specializes in strange metals, perhaps this is one of those.
Do I feel any magic coming out of it? Just because I know Ardzo wanted me to look into that too earlier.
Roll that magical training.
Oop. 24.
Not magic coming out of it. There's no active magic being used here.
Okay. Entirely natural. Unfortunately for me.
Our GM didn't say that. Our GM just said that there wasn't any active magic coming out of it. That's not the same thing as being entirely natural.
Yes, but that's what Kadarin answers.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it depends on where that mineral comes from. Perhaps it's some sort of mineral from your homeworld.
I'm thinking that might be it.
In which case, not exactly natural to this place, then, is it? So, I suppose what you might need is some sort of, get one of their alchemists. Some sort of, what this cut was put on a blade, some sort of otherworldly blade oil.
Yeah, I don't like that they take from here and turn it against us.
Well, that's what villains do. Yes, that's exactly what villains do. Like, yeah. So, you have two of these people, and perhaps you might be able to ask them what they know about these sorts of things.
Yes, well, I need to recuperate a bit first, and then once I do, yeah, there's a few things that I need to look into.
I mean, we're using the
Lord
alternate.
Arzo-
We're using the alternate rules for stamina recovery, so this would count as a short rest. You've basically been sitting on a hospital bed for 2 hours.
All right, then in that
Lord Arzo-
case,
Should we try to clean out this wound and see if that will help? I imagine a good scrubbing might do it. One hopes. If not, then perhaps there might be something a little bit more going on than just some, you know. How is that? How is that looking, Lord Arzo?
It is looking good. I have no notes.
Yeah. Is it still bleeding? And look. Yeah. Yeah. They say you're muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I must have bumped into something. Thank you. I apologize. Yes, it's like a small cut, like he cut himself shaving. So it's not bleeding profusely. It's not like it needs stitches or anything. It's just not stopping bleeding. It's not clotting.
Yeah. And Lord Arzo, you've cleared all that out then, yes? And it's still not going?
No, it's best we can do for what we know. It might take some time to get everything out there once we have specified exactly what it is and tracing the mineral. I can remove it from the wound, but until then, he ain't going to die.
I don't think I'm going to die, but I think I'm going to
Authorize the wound. Just
yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
I just like sear that flesh. Not bad. It's not really a bit of cleansing. You know, a little bit of healing of the sort might also. Well, I don't want to. So far, good physician, Lord Arzo has done his best. I imagine it will probably clear up then sometime soon. If not, we'll just have to burn it with fire. Which is all right for flesh, not good for forests or plants. All right. So I still have a terrible concussion. So perhaps we should ponder getting you out of here and alerting Alienor not to come.
I was going to go straight to her, but oh. I turned to Arzo. The Cleaver home. Does that tell you anything?
Sorry,
It's been
what?
here longer than I.
What'd you say?
The Cleaver. A noble family. They live not too far from here.
Oh, you
I don't
would.
know if that's ringing a bell.
It would. You would remember Oswine Cleaver
From the wedding.
from the wedding.
Okay.
He is Gavril's friend, and his. So that was the big thing, right? He was Gavril's friend, and there's one of the letters that's sent before the wedding was from Oswine, and he had questions about this proposed marriage to this Deshalon girl because it's one of those. His youngest daughter, Brithwin, was always kind of like understood. Nothing formal had ever been done, but it was always kind of like understood that when they were old enough, Brithwin and Florian would get married, and then all of a sudden there's this Deshalon girl is gonna marry Florian. So
Did
yeah, and she sent a letter to Cream because there might
They're
be a family.
related.
They're related.
I believe.
are they in the
They're
NPC
related.
directory?
Yes, Oswin Cleaver is Kleever. Cleaver.
Can you just link it again?
I got that. I think it's no plural.
It is number 37.
Number 37. Because I don't think
Yes.
Kadern ever met them.
Well,
If you were at the wedding,
he was at the he was one of the people that was at the wedding.
Okay.
Kadern doesn't necessarily know about the connection between Brithwin and Florian and the letter, or the connection between Oswain and Cream, but Ardzo was on that trip from Toussaint to Matina, and that's when Cream explained what was going on to Yanto, well, earlier in the trip to Yanto, and then later to Brenna.
I don't think so, because Yanto and Cream traveled separately because they did not want to arrive at the same time. Right?
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were not
So,
in
well,
the party together.
but Cream did tell Yanto about the reason to go earlier. So that's what I put the two things together. Cream told Yanto in Beauclair or Belhaven, and then when they traveled south, Cream traveled with Ardzo and Brenna and explained this letter, and that Oswain was concerned about this connect. It's like, Gavril's been my best friend. What the hell is this chick doing? I've never met her. Now he's got this thing where our kids aren't getting married like they've been talking about for like the last 12 years. I'm very confused. Hey, Brenna, do you know about this chick riding up on your man? That was effectively Oswain's communications. So yes, Ardzo, you would know who the Cleavers are.
Yeah.
And then they were there at the wedding when Brenna married Gavril because he was Gavril's best man.
And what's the I know of them? Yes. What was the specific question?
Their home is on fire.
Yeah.
As in currently, or at least buildings around. The Wild Hunt went through there.
Well. Did they? Do you think they traveled through that area to get here, or do you think they teleported here, standing portaled here, and then have just been doing forays while they're hanging out? They're here. Might as well just go and scour the countryside while they're waiting for whatever it is they're waiting for. Perhaps they're doing search circles to find Alienor. Now, of course, if they are imagining that she's on her way.
It isn't within walking distance of here. If they are going around the campaign, around the pass, they're doing so using magical means.
Which, as far as you've told me, is how they transport themselves, yes? And they all just showed up at Mahakam and here. And...
Yes, part of me hope that they do not use it too often. That they don't teleport all the time entire armies or battalions or what have you.
They also have the capability to have a huge amount of fog up 24/7 non-stop. You said they had hundreds of mages. They seem to be exceptionally powerful.
Of beginner mages. They have students.
Still, though, hundreds and hundreds of mages who can put up
that can create the fog, and they can those I can see holding up this fog around us.
Mm,
But they would not be able to, these people would not be able to transport others.
yes. Well, but as you said, that's what they do. They teleport themselves from place to place, all about. Which
What
means
the
they do
legends
have that
say is they
capability.
normally teleport somewhere, they appear, calamity follows, they disappear. You don't see them for years. I doubt that they would just use these powers willy-nilly like I do.
Well, well, if you can, why wouldn't they?
Because I don't think their magic is quite like ours. And that
Your magic and my magic are different.
things aside, I am what you would call a carefree mage.
There are many ways to interpret that. Nonetheless, then, Your Majesty, what is your assessment of why they were going out to some estate? Do you think that they just happened to travel through? We've been here for a week or so, so did you have evidence that they had been through there about a week or so ago, or perhaps longer, on their journey from wherever they came from to here?
The place was currently on fire. I doubt that it was a week ago.
So then they are moving about and
Yes.
doing their skullduggery. Yes, well then. So that means that they are actively searching about, and they do have some sort of magical means of mobility if this place is not within quick travel. So they're probably all about everywhere, like scouts and whatnot. If I
Which means
could-
we need to put a stop to them.
Well, difficult to do if we don't know what they want.
No, but if the other plan that we have works,
Well, no, that's
We'll
not
just-
your plan. That's Alzor's plan, who we have no evidence that he knows anything about this. As you said, he has no practical knowledge, only theoretical, and he's not been stable, shall we say.
no, he has not. But if it works, we rid ourselves of them forever. If it doesn't, we kill one of them.
Here's my question. Why doesn't he do it?
Oh, he might actually be in the process of doing it right now.
No, then good. So, if you wish...
Which
we
means if he
could-
succeeds, they'll all disappear at any moment. And we won't have to do anything.
Excellent. So, and then we can arrest him. So, why don't you, if you could teleport myself and Lord Ardzo to this place, this Cleaver estate, I could perhaps see what we could investigate, see what we could see. Perhaps there might be some sort of key or clue. I'm not, especially if there's no fight left, that'd be all right. I mean, I'm still quite concussed and not at my best. I should be maintaining bed rest for another 2 or 3 days, but if it's all done, then we could certainly do a quick look and come back.
We can. If you want to come, do you want to come with?
Well, as long as there's no crisis there, I'm not particularly at my top, you know. I would not want to run into some sort of skirmish. That would be quite unfortunate. It's not good for a person who communes with nature to have a splitting head and not being able to concentrate and be somewhat always nauseated, you know. More days. And I imagine if I go out and about, it will not help me with my healing. I'll probably take a little bit longer to recover, but I'm willing to do so.
If I'm there, it will go as fast as it can go. And I wouldn't worry
Alright
about
then.
skirmishes too much. I feel like collectively, when we can make decisions quickly, we can pretty much get out of any situation.
Good. I open a portal to that place.
So, as you all step through the portal to the farmstead you were at earlier that was on fire, 22 is fine. You've seen it before. You were literally just there. It's fine. 2 hours ago. we're going to take a break for the evening. And this is the point where we're also going to say goodbye to Billy because Billy needs to sleep. And we love you, Billy.
Yeah.
Love you guys too.
All right. We're
Love
going to
you,
take
Billy.
a break, stretch, bio, do all those good things. And when we come back, we'll find out what's going on in the Cleavers. Have a good one, everyone. See you in a few.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you were refreshed, stretched. You're ready to dive into the second part of our, or you have popcorn, as some people do, and that you are ready to dive back into the second half of our session tonight. We left off with a portal opening from the medical tent into the field. Well, where did you put this portal?
Exactly in the same spot that I opened mine earlier.
Okay, so
Because I don't want us to be too close, just in case, but at least from on top of the hill,
yeah,
like we could see what was going on.
you could see what was going on, and you had enough of like you could smell the wood, you could smell the fire and the smoke, and you could see that the main estate wasn't on fire, just this one outlier,
Yeah.
like the edge boundary farm that probably serves the estate as a whole, or homestead. By this point, it's been a couple hours of things that have been going on. The fire is definitely been put out, well, as much as it can be has been put out. There's some slow smoldering occurring. You can see scorch marks and blackened walls off of this beam and plaster construction house, peasant's house. There's a small shed off to one side that's totally burnt, like collapsed in on itself. The walls still kind of stand, but like the roof, which was probably thatch and why it burned so well, has collapsed in on itself as well. One of the walls that was probably supported by, the tension of the crossbeam has collapsed as well. You can see a middle-aged looking peasant woman and her, looks like a couple small children with her. They're, leaning off to one side, talking to what individuals that look like guards, right? Like, not wearing the same livery as the soldiers that Gavril has, but you can see similarities. Obviously, guards that serve one of his vassals, right? Just in, the colors are the same, but the borders are different. One of his vassals is who this is. Neither of you have met. Well, no, that's not true. Kadarin would have met Oswain at Gavril and Brenna's wedding, because you were still at the. You were still
Yes,
there.
But I don't think I paid a lot of attention to who was there.
No, but I meant that you would at least recognize his colors, right? Like, you don't know any of the. You wouldn't have paid attention to the people, but you would have recognized his colors, and perhaps his heraldry. So you recognize that these are soldiers who serve the keep up the road. The farms, the garden patch next to the farmstead is both frozen and burned. You can see the just swath of frost-marked grasses and various crops that would have been here, because remember, it's only a week after midsummer. This should be full of wheat, summer wheat, and summer grains. Barley, maybe. Well, not barley. Barley's a winter crop. Summer wheat, soy, various other summer grains. All of it looks like it's wilted and withered. Can I get both of you to roll me awareness, please?
Yes. I am less distracted than earlier.
Yep, with a 17,
Wait, are you saying the map isn't sexy? Come on.
I am saying that I haven't seen Math naked.
That's fair. Also 17.
Okay. With the 17, again, you see everything I described. You see, there's a chill in the air that both of you know is unnatural. You can see in this like conversation, the guard has been talking to this woman, and another one is kind of like walked away from the conversation that's kind of closer to the road and is, moved the woman and children away from the house, kind of the smoldering house, and is now like this other guard and a couple of, are kind of walking just in this like U pattern outside the front of the house. Not going all the way around, but kind of like trying to look in a couple windows, almost as if they're looking for something. You don't see any. You do see 2 horses, but there's like a troop of 5 people here, so those 2 horses are probably the officers, and everybody else has to walk.
And this little thing is somewhat distant from us, yeah?
Yeah, maybe like just close enough that the smoke would get into everything. So like 20, 30 yards. 50 yards at most.
So they could just see us and shoot us with arrows, is what you're saying. Like we're very much within their range.
You are within their range, but they don't seem to be like you're at the top of this hill, at the crest of this hill, because that's where Cadarn teleported away from. And everybody involved is on the lookout, but is definitely focused in on this, putting out this fire, stopping this, possibly looking for other survivors or other dead. They're not unaware per se, but they're operating as if the cause of this is gone, and so they need to be focused on relief efforts rather than looking for a secondary attack.
Math is going to go down the hill away from those people to the other side of the hill, so that he's not visible to them.
Yeah, and by hill I mean like
it's like a little
just enough to break the line of sight. Basically, it's
and he's going to go down. And you said there were what is the vegetation around here?
It should be like summer wheat fields and grasslands and light rolling hills. It looks like a heavy frost came in suddenly and just
and his staff in his hand, he sort of gets down on one knee. He's like, "Hello there, how are you? Hello, my little
I'm
friends.
fine. What are you doing?"
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to nature. Excuse me. Hello, my friends. And I sort of like pet one of the blades of grass, sort of like that's all iced over. Tell me now. Come now. Tell me what's been going on. All right. I'm here now. It's all right. I would like to roll.
Yep.
Read nature.
Yep.
And if I'm successful, the DC is set by you. I can learn everything that passed through this area within the last week and what each creature did in this area.
Maybe I should have written that into the skill and forced people to talk to nature.
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's nature. I mean, they're
because
my
I
best
didn't
friends.
think about druids talking literally to grass.
Well, first off, maybe you should understand that sometimes grass is a better friend than other sorts of beings.
Wow,
Grass
I got the
never is
point.
mean
I
to me.
leave.
No, that was meat. My goodness. I'm going to put in 2 points of luck here.
Yep. You have 4 from the kindness of chat, by the way. So it's 22.
22.
On success, the druid reads the signs around them to learn everything that passed through the area within the last week and what each creature did in the area. But it doesn't give. Hi, Simon.
What?
You don't give a boundary for the idea of area, like at all.
Localized.
No, it's very much up to interpretation, but normally what I had in mind was
Like a couple square feet, a couple
no,
miles, a
it's
couple
well basically it's like
acres.
if you were talking to someone who was in this very spot. So it's like anything that this blade of grass or this patch of nature could have
Experienced. Yeah.
seen. And yeah, like if you're talking to a tree, it's like, okay, well, the tree sees 360 degrees around it up until there's like a natural barrier that blocks it, or the like
Unless, of
horizon
course,
or
you're talking a
whatever.
mangrove.
Well, why?
Because a mangrove is a collection of trees, and it's all one, and it's not the only kind. They're also alpine,
that are in the water and
birchen.
everything.
Yeah, they're the whole group of trees is one organism.
Yeah.
Fun things.
But imagine the way I had it is basically Druid looks around and it's pretty much that area.
Cool.
Like
Line
it's
of
made
sight.
to be used outdoors when you're traveling.
Cool, that works. I mean, I was gonna give you like a general area anyways, and not like 15 miles, but it is rolling
No.
hills and mostly flat land. Yeah, the mangrove, the one tree forest, exactly.
There is,
So-
if you want, if you look at Sacred Grove, it also talks about an area in generic terms, and then it specifies that the area is 20 meters, so 60 feet radius.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. I got an answer. I got an answer.
No, I'm here. How are you? Tell me, please. What have you seen?
Okay, well,
And like I'm trying to warm it up a little bit. My little blades of grass and wheat. Trying to take care of them because they clearly been a little distressed.
also dead.
Nature's never dead. It always rebirths.
But the
Cycle
individual
life.
plant dies.
Yeah, yes, but nature's a whole.
But in this case, oh, I like this. Okay. You have you're trying to warm it up, and and there's this moment
So
because
like
you
my vision.
your vision whites out. So it's sun, clear day, feel the warmth, heat. You feel like stretching just a little bit further. Feels good, calm. Then the earth shakes. Thunder rolls over you. And you are stretching up, and all of a sudden you're crushed forcibly down. The weight of hooves force you to the ground further. And as the hooves pass by, this mist rolls with them, and the cold strikes you, and you shrink into yourself, and you're shocked out of this vision.
How many creatures?
You know that there was an armored troop somewhere between 15 to 20. You're not 100% certain, but
When?
horses. Like, horses make things complicated, right? Like thundering hooves. There are a lot of them. You also know that what occurred here was unnatural, was caused by something else. And there was also this sense of drain. This cold caused this sweeping crush of frost and frostbite, but at the same time it drained the life out of the plants that are here. And it fed something.
I have a week. When did they come?
You do have a week. They came yesterday.
yesterday.
Well, late yesterday, early this morning, kind of thing.
Right.
And depends what you're
And-
defining as. And before that, if you go earlier than that,
Mhm.
there's the local travelers, kind of general trade, the farm nearby. A couple of the children came and were rolling down the hill as you kind of do.
Mhm.
Because it's just enough of that little hill to be like really great to roll down in the grass in the summer and lay out.
Mhm.
A couple, grazers, rabbits.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
yeah. I was gonna ask
distaste
about those,
for
actually.
there's a distaste for the rabbits.
Yes, absolutely. I understand that. But I felt before these people came, I felt grazers, I felt
Yeah.
squirrels, I felt some sort of. Have there been any of those animals since they came, since the frost?
Not in the last 14 hours.
Yeah, so there's been no sense of no creatures in this area, like the little woodland creatures are not present.
Yeah, in the last 14 hours now.
Yeah. Were there any when the question I have is were there any in the area when the riders came and did they die? Like was their life force sucked out of them?
There were a couple. You know what? There were a couple, because they're horrible and evil things, groundhogs,
Mm.
in the nearby. And one of them did die, but you can't tell, and it's probably because the creature itself wouldn't know whether it died of hypothermic shock or from this drain of life force, right? Like those two things happen simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the cause of death?
We don't know.
We don't know.
How
You
close are we to a road?
maybe like 50 meters, 100, 30, 50 meters probably.
In this last week,
Mm-hmm.
we've got children, we've got the locals from this area. Do we have any travelers coming through in this area that I could see?
A couple
this last week?
a couple traders who use the road, like
Traders.
right around the road. A couple people who
yeah.
kind of like pulled off the road at night, kind of thing, but went back on the road to continue east or west. Regardless, they're trading along the road. And a couple other travelers who seem to be traveling by themselves on horse.
Which direction? Just
From
generally speaking, right,
from the
directions
west
of
to the
movement.
east.
Okay, away from Matina.
Well, away from the city of Matina towards Gavril, towards Pasvacht.
Okay.
Because this is where Cadarn targeted is, if you on our map, right? It's that like just west of Magdira, right?
Oh no.
Yeah,
I
that's where you
closed the
said.
tab earlier, but yeah.
And so you were moving towards, this in the general direction towards from west to east, towards away from the city of Matina, towards the town of Caravista and Pasvacht.
I see. And I spend like a little time just with my little plant friends, just like a little bit more to like sort of be there with them and sort of mourn their death a little bit. When I stand up, wipe a little bit of a condensation because it's kind of cold. These creatures, armored villains, and they came late last night, early this morning. They came through. Seems like I don't know what you. Two squads or something like this, about like 15 to 20 of them, riders. They definitely were of your people. You see, they, you say they would not be able to willy-nilly sort of just to travel, but I don't think that's the case. I think it seems to me as though they travel by leeching the life of this place to fuel their otherworldly magic. You know how people who wield, with you with your chaos and whatnot, I imagine you're pulling on, I don't know, chaotic. I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry, it's very distressing. There's a lot of dead leaves of grass here right now. It's quite a bit wheat. And I sort of pull on natural forces through myself in ways that are not destructive. But I think that they are doing their teleportation and whatnot by drawing the life essence of nature from the earth herself to fuel whatever sort of terrible magics, pale magics. I think magics of draining and death that just rob the earth of her life. I imagine they're able to teleport just as often as they wish, as long as the place they're teleporting to has some sort of life that they might be able to then leech for their own perverse purposes. They were here not too long ago. So a raiding party, perhaps 15, 20. I don't know exactly why they came here, unless perhaps this process of teleporting actually generates. Perhaps they can use that to generate magical energy of some sort. I don't know, but they came here. And they were not. You said that there were some people from our world that they'd captured. They certainly couldn't have been these people. These people had the sort of the abilities of the pale magic. So I imagine they were. I don't know what else they would be doing here. This is a place a little bit of nowhere. There's nothing. I mean, clear they could. I mean, of course, you could think that they didn't seem as if they harvested the crops to eat. And of course, sabotaging crops is a strategy in war, but we're under siege and blockade. We can't get new.
But also, these people aren't necessarily our allies. I would understand sabotaging the harvest of the peasants under the count, but
well, but isn't this under the count? Is this part of his domain? It's part of his county, isn't it?
I don't think it's part of his county. Now, I'm not big on politicians. I'll let you know that right away. So I might be wrong, but point is, we're rather far away from home, from Pasvakt.
Well, now you said the heraldry was. GM, you said the heraldry was basically sub house of Pasvakt. Math does know heraldry.
Yes.
I don't think, and he's seen the standard of Brenna's house in
a lot. Yes.
Circumstances. Yeah, a lot. Would I be able to tell that this is just from how heraldry works? This is a sub house in an area that is a sub house of.
Definitely a vassal.
Yeah. Well, the standards are the same. It's clearly some sort of vassal, and castles don't build their own crops. I imagine that.
No, then there is a strategic value to what they're doing.
Well, except that I don't think that we're going to be getting any crops into the castle one way or the other. So I mean, it's entirely possible they did this to try to disrupt, but they've already disrupted supplies by sieging, which means that.
I think we're thinking too much in terms of our world.
No, listen.
I don't think they
they're doing it for those
understand.
reasons.
No, I think they have other reasons, like you say, because I don't think they
Yes.
know the political landscape and they know
Oh no,
who
certainly
or
they do.
what holds dominion
Oh,
where.
no, I'm certain they do because they were able to just step right into the castle and pretend to be noble so and so. They've got spies all over the place. They clearly have done their information gathering. I would not put that sort of thing past them. It's just that it doesn't make sense for them to do it for those reasons. I think that perhaps they do this to gather life force to fuel their whatever it is they do.
Could
It was
I?
just-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It was just the withering of life for their own ends.
Could I magically see if? So normally, when we do magic, we have to get the element from somewhere.
Mhm.
Can I see if they've because law of equivalent exchange, blah blah blah. If you do magic, you have to take it from somewhere, but then it goes back to whatever.
Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, merely transformed. Yes, go on.
Except, could it be that they've literally leached it out and left nothing behind? Like that they broke that law of equivalent exchange.
Roll me magical training.
Because I mean, I am someone who's attuned to the void.
Mm. That's kind of
Let me
what you
check.
do.
Let me check. I'm gonna. How much luck do we have in our pool? 4?
Or
I'm gonna take 2. Is that okay?
yes, please do.
25.
So, a couple things. First of all, what Math describes is counterintuitive, right? Like, on one hand, counterintuitive. On the other hand, it kind of makes sense. If they were just leeching this to store and do large transport, you would also expect some sort of mechanism or device or something, or a storage
To
vessel.
store it somewhere. Yeah.
To store it somewhere. To transport it, right? Like you need to have the battery that you're gonna charge
Well,
if this
that's
is
it.
charging the battery.
But then again, we haven't seen all of their entire camp. They could
This
have
is-
a battery over there.
This is true, but but also Math didn't see anything that looked like that. Like there was nothing that Math saw. Math just saw the withering happen immediately as they passed.
Oh yeah,
by.
right. Because you saw them passing by. Yeah, so they didn't
But
have.
but I can really only know about. I know what passes through the area, right? And then what the creatures did. So I don't know if that means I can like if there was some kind of.
You didn't
Like,
see
I don't
anything
know if
that
I could
looks
read
like they were
bricks, you know what I
storing.
mean?
You didn't see anything that looks like storing.
No, but that's it. So they probably just they move through. I mean, it's like in the video game. They move through somewhere and it just everything
Freezes.
dies and freezes. Yeah.
Yeah. You also know a little bit about both the void and how chaos works, and a little bit about how that other type of magic that you know
Yeah.
of works. And it's almost like it's not storing energy to do large scale troop movements by portals or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This seems much more like a paddle boat.
I don't get it.
They're not natural to this world. They don't belong here. None of their spells belong here. Nothing that they use that they're used to every day. How many spells do you cast on yourself every day, Cadarn? Glamour? Summon your own staff? Wards? Protections?
Yeah, so they need all of that. Okay.
They need a power source. And they can't. There's no connection for them to the void. Or to the chaos of this plane.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the easiest, most basic, universal source of energy, Cadarn? that you were taught much younger.
Food?
Well, yes. But
Life.
life. You know that if you get to a point where you can run out of stamina, you can use your own life force to power a spell.
Yeah. So they're, yeah, but the thing is, oh, okay, so they've leached the life out of even the grass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Matt
Basically.
said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So rather than leech it from themselves or from, I mean,
So
sure,
if we,
perhaps they might be leeching it from other individuals, but as they've come across a way to, as they to move through an area, to just use that as, you know,
Leech.
as a leech to power whatever spells they currently have going,
so
like a paddle boat.
so my plan to go into the Korat Desert wasn't all that for nothing. Math.
What?
This, what they've done here,
Is terrible.
yes, but is a giant linchpin to them. And I can't believe I might actually say this, but I believe your nature magic might help. They can't use their magic here without taking from everything that's around. If there is life around them, they'll channel it to do their magic.
Yes.
But bring them somewhere there is no life around, or that it is practically bereft of all life, and they find themselves greatly weakened.
Mm.
Now, earlier when they tried to capture me, I teleported to the desert because I thought I would, you know, make them greatly uncomfortable and perhaps buy myself some time. But the thing is, there's no life in the Korath Desert. Nothing lives there.
Can I make a lore keeper check on
Yes.
that one?
You can.
Because I imagine things do live, because you know nature finds a way and all that business.
For the Korath Desert?
19.
19 for the Korath Desert. Korath Desert is a fun place. Let me find, where did the, hold please. They just, yeah.
There
My
might be
book-
like, I don't know, desert things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that desert
we're gonna
is-
I'm gonna give you the official. So yeah, that's what I did. Hey, Crit, thank you for that, sir.
Thank you, Crit Witch.
So, we get the wonderful description of the Korath Desert. The Great Korath Desert lies in the rain shadow of the Tirtokar Mountains. They say that no rain ever falls in Korath, also called the Frying Pan. It is a flat brown land with no plants or life beyond giant scorpions and ant lions.
So there is life there.
Yeah, giant scorpions and ant lions, which is a great reference, and me as a classicist appreciates this because I know exactly what it's referencing. There's a rumor of long abandoned buildings in the wastes, but I have no evidence of this. Beyond the Tirtokar and the Korath lie the mysterious lands of the Hackland and Zeracania. It's a big old flat desert without
basically, yeah, out of game it was created by a giant fire elemental.
Hmm.
It just burned everything and just
And it destroyed an entire school of witchers.
Yeah.
But the thing is even if there are giant scorpions and all that, it's much less life than
Yes. This is teeming with life. I suppose there's less life there. Better. which means
which means we
You
could
could.
choke them out of their powers.
yes, lead them there.
Wait,
And
I
I
have a
mean-
question.
Hmm?
Fire Elemental creates the Korath Desert, but the School of Witchers is still alive yet. Oh, because they haven't fought the because it's still there. Okay. Because I was trying to remember if the desert exists in this timeline yet or not.
Yes.
It does.
If it happened prior to the golden age of witchers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It
Um,
hasn't killed the School of Witchers yet. It just
No, it did.
Is the
If I
Manticore?
remember right, in 1050, the Manticore school is already kicked out
Gone.
of Zeracania.
I don't believe we know anything about that, Simon.
Manticore. So some said something about the Manticore being past the Korath or something like that.
Yeah, in
Does that
Zeracania.
make a person give us Yeah, so this is
No, not the animal. I'm looking for the school.
no. There was that page 204 had a little thing about the Manticore school.
204. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
Feel
but
free.
I mean, no. Where's my? There we go. The PDF about the Manticore school.
Yeah.
The fall of the school happened on the Day of Fire, which is in 1146.
okay. So they still exist. I'm saying, 1146 is after
Yes,
1050.
1146. This is after. Yeah, that's true.
1146 is after, so Manticore School still exists in our time point, and the desert is still there. Just
Desert is
making-
still there. Yeah.
Making sure that you can. It sounds like a great plan. Wanted to make sure you could actually do this because we didn't think
Yeah.
about the fact that timelines are a thing and have important effects.
Yeah, the desert was there before anyway.
And then the
Um,
fire elemental they decide to deal with the fire elemental and it goes
And
very
it- yeah.
badly.
Yes,
What the point is, we could bring them there. You talked about parlay.
yes.
They want Eleanor or myself. We can just go there,
Yes. Set
wait
a
for them to
trap.
show up.
Yes. Well, we should definitely get them as far away from life
I mean,
as possible.
if they want a fight, then we can give them one there.
Mhm.
And otherwise, since they would be limited in their resources, perhaps they might be more inclined to actually parlay.
Yes. I wonder, when they arrived here, they immediately just drained life. I wonder what happens if they arrive somewhere and they cannot do so. I wonder. The
When they
process, the
appeared
order of things.
when they appeared with me, it didn't seem like it did much to them.
Hmm.
To be fair, you were unconscious quickly.
Well, yes, but also I regained consciousness after like 18 seconds and I wasn't there anymore.
Also, didn't they go through your portal?
Except
Yes.
for the one guy.
Yeah, no, but what I meant is like when they got there, they didn't react.
Yes.
Then they knocked me
No.
out. And then a few seconds later I awoke and I was away from the desert. So I don't
Yes.
think they would notice it when they arrive,
Yes.
that there's nothing
Unless
to leech.
possible, unless it's about the order of things. I don't know whether or not, because I don't know how they work, and you were probably so young when you were taken away from them. I don't know if part of the process of their teleportation involves, on the other end, immediately needing to re-leech up, or if I don't know, when that process happens. I don't know how their magic works, and I know that you were so young, Your Majesty, when you left. Do you have any idea at all, perhaps stories, or were you completely cut off from your legacy that way?
Eleanor would know more about that.
Yes.
But that also has another silver lining.
Hmm.
if they're unable to land in the desert because they do not have the magic for it. Then Eleanor and I can just live in the desert for the rest of our lives.
Or if they arrive there but they're not able to top up or some such thing, perhaps it's one of those things long term. But again, there's an entire army of them, sort of kind of couple. We would need some sort of a larger strategy. Do you
Force?
mind if we? No. Do you mind if we walk a bit away from here?
These
The
people need
death-
help. I
they're
point to
getting
the
help. I'm just like, well, no, they're getting help. I mean, could we walk away from all this dead nature?
Is there less dead nature going towards the Cleaver house?
Not really.
Or away?
Then in that case, I can just send us back home.
Yes. Could we take a bit of a walk first? Inside that place, there's no nature, and I've been away from.
Fine, let's walk.
Thank you. Just a bit. This is distressing. Mosey a tad. I would appreciate it. Before we go back, I would appreciate it if that's all right with you. I just would like to see some vegetation that is alive before we go back into that castle. I don't like being inside so long. Shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Your Majesty,
Hmm.
I understand the difficulty you're under, and I cannot imagine how difficult all of this is for you, knowing that this fellow, Alzor, who you studied under, I take it, has been trying to kill you and your wife, and perhaps continues to do so for some sort of mad idea he has. I imagine you've got a great deal of guilt or frustration in that this thing is happening. And I want you to, it's not your fault that they're chasing you, and I hope you wouldn't think so. Heavy wears the crown and all that, but it's that's on them. It is not what the Wild Hunt is doing is not your fault, nor what Alzor is doing is your fault. All of these things, this Alzor destroyed all of that Bernard school out of his madness, and he and the kinds of things that the terrible destruction they've been doing. I think you said it was. I think did you say it was Alzor or the Wild Hunt who set the forest alight? I can't remember, but these sort of bits of destruction that are happening and following upon your wake, they're not your fault. You are the target against large forces who want you because of your inner power and the power of your blood. Blood has a great deal of power. But I want you to know you should not blame yourself for any of these things. You'll just have to rise to your own inner nobility. And I know you have it, Your Majesty. And I understand that there's all sorts of, I know, trickiness with Her Grace, the Countess. But sometimes you have to follow your heart. You'll have to let your heart take it where it will go. And if you love the Countess, then you must follow that feeling. You can't let any sort of things get in your way when you have a great and deep love. So I understand obligation and all that, but you have to follow your heart. And I've known you but a short time, Your Highness, but I do feel within you a great nobility and an honorable sense of personage, and you care about others, and you want to go and help those people over there. And on the way back, perhaps we shall. I don't mind. But I know that Lord Ards gave you a bit of a earful, is what I sort of seemed to understand when I walked in, and I understand why he might do so, but I do want you to know that I support you, Your Majesty, and I understand the difficulties of the heart and leadership and all of that. And so I want you to know that I believe that you can vanquish or those who chase you. And I pat him on the shoulder awkwardly. I know that you are worthy of the appellation, Your Majesty. So I do. I'm just giving you a bit of a pep talk. No, I'm sincere about it, and
I will never, never tire of hearing my title.
Yes, well, I know it also gives you great pain as well, since it's such a bit of a curse as well. But you know, you can be. Oh, I see.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes a bit slow about these things. Of course, you wouldn't want to go back in chains to be the king of a place that would keep you shackled. A king in shackles is no good. But I also see why you want to stay here, because of your love. The Countess. You wouldn't want to go back to that place and leave her behind. I understand. Yes, I see. I see now. And, well, you can. Maybe. I suppose there is no way to keep you both together on different planes and all that. Well, I will just say that if somehow you were able to usurp and retake your throne on your own terms and run that, but then that's your wife. Oh, marriage is a convenience. Oh, this is very difficult. I understand. Oh, to think about it. I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you? What a pickle. I'm so sorry.
Maybe when it comes to it, when we get to it.
Yes.
But at the moment, I would rather think about surviving, getting them off this world, and perhaps also saving all of the enslaved mages.
Yes.
Pretty
you
much in
are
that order,
indeed.
maybe.
You are a very noble person. And I imagine if there was some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of test to see who's a great and true leader, like I don't know, like a staff in a stone or something, you know, or either person who's pure of heart or something could pull the staff out of the stone. I imagine that you would be someone who could do so.
I really hope I am.
Oh,
But
you don't have to hope. I believe it. I've seen
well,
you.
I'm
You
glad you
inspired
believe
those
it.
people.
I've
Yes.
also seen what those people can do, and we'll see.
I serve nature, not man. So I would never be in your court, my liege. But
I don't
would
want
be.
a court.
One never knows what will happen. I suppose. Yeah.
Also, you
you
serve
for the-
no man, but you are nobility.
Yes, but I'm the third son. I'm the third child, so I'm not going to inherit anything. But blood is blood.
But you
after
still
all.
serve your family, or you have people that
No.
serve you and your family.
No. You know, sometimes, oftentimes second children go off to become, I don't know, they do. Everyone does their different things, you know. But I was sent away to study, which was, I think, in the end good, because my path is better. It was better for me to be in the forest. Yes, I was quite young. I was about 5 years old when I was sent into the forest, away from my home. But to go and study was good in the end. I feel like staying in the castle where my family was probably not the best thing for a 5-year-old to do. actually, I think that going out, and being led to a druid circle by a good dear friend of mine was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. And because we all learn our own ways, and nature takes you on your own path. And my path was that my family felt that it would be best for me to leave the castle and my home, and to be, someplace better suited to someone of my talents and expertise and skill. And yes, again, it sort of speaks to the great sort of insight and that I had as a small child. And I think, when the circle took me in for me to study, it's a great honor to study at the circle. And it was a good thing indeed.
I had a point to make about this, but you went on for so long that I don't think it's relevant anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Majesty. Go
You
on, I'm
just,
sorry.
have we walked enough, Math?
Oh. I suppose.
Because people need us at the castle.
Yes. Did you want to go and help the people in this little area? You said you did.
They saw us come in, teleport away, come back, and then walk away. I don't think it would be.
But
I think it
don't
would
know if they
only
noticed-
salt the wounds if we were to go back in after this.
No, I don't think they noticed us at all, actually. But I leave it
But
up
if
to
they
you.
did, it will be very awkward. Sorry.
I leave it up to your judgment. Do you mind if I just gathered?
No, go ahead.
Bit
Go
of-
right ahead. I will sit down right here and maybe gather my thoughts.
Yes, of course. I would like to look for some white myrtle.
You can
And
roll for it, and it will. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going
It's
to take a
a-
-2 because of just the current
Okay.
conditions of the land.
That'll be that will make it a 14 that I need.
Yeah.
And let's see. And it'll be like
No, -2 to your roll.
okay, so then it's the difficulty is
Because-
a 12.
-2 to whatever you roll, whatever the difficulty is.
I took the difficulty off, so it was I got a 20 after all the minuses,
That's
and the
fine.
difficulty was a 12, so I get a 1d10 white myrtle.
That's cool. The only reason I was giving you a difficulty is because a shit ton of things around you are dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why we walked a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to gather up some white myrtle and put it in my pack and just kind of like touch a tree, touch some grass, and then come back.
While Math is collecting white myrtle, what are you doing, Kadarin?
Enjoying the math-less moments of silence. But thinking about the Korath plan, see if it could work. And how we could make it work. That's all.
Okay.
And if there's like a nice flower, I will pick 2 of them. Just like a nice flower.
Oh yes, we can get you some nice it's summer basically Cherokee roses, right? Like spray roses, not wild roses, not what we can think of long stem cultivated roses, but wild Cherokee spray roses. Little
We'll get
bunches of can work. Kadarin,
I will get 2.
Yes.
you know that spellcasting I asked you to roll earlier?
Yes.
Cool. Could you roll resist magic, please?
Sure. How much luck do we still have in the pool?
2.
Do you mind if I use it?
Take it.
+1 for mine, by the way. I still have 1 point left. So that's a 21.
A total of 21?
Yep.
Cool. You're sitting on the ground thinking about this plan for the Korath. You are thinking distractedly, enjoying the lack of math for a brief while. And after a moment, you realize you're no longer bleeding. It's stopped.
Hmm. Odd. I mean, I would have assumed that, like, as part of cleaning it, Ardzo stitched it.
Well, no, because it's not really thick enough to, it's not deep enough to require stitches. It's just a little nick. Just
Okay.
it kept bleeding. He cleaned it, abraded it. But you're no
It's
longer.
like when you get a bad, you cut yourself shaving, it just doesn't stop for a really long time. You're like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah. But because you went in and, like, had to clean up inside, I thought, got bigger.
Not much. Because he took it with, like, you picked at it with forceps, so it didn't actually make it that bigger. But yeah, it stopped bleeding. At least. For you.
I'll keep in mind. I will keep that in mind to tell Ardzo later.
And as Math comes back, and the two of you portal back to Castle Posvacht, we're going to end for tonight. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm just keeping track of it.
But that is the end for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, my wonderful players. I know we had some people drop in and out because of scheduling concerns and things that have happened, and but I'm glad that people could be here and enjoy, have fun. We have 4 more episodes.
Yeah.
So, why don't we start with Trooper and share some love, share some one question that you as a player have, and where we can find you, all that good stuff.
I am Trooper SJP, and I was playing more Lord Math Varen of the Master Druid of the Circle of Cape Mirkvid. And let me see. I'm going to give love to Lindy for her distraction, for Simon for his distraction, to Billy for his not having it after the sniff check, and then to our intrepid GM for plants reaching to the sun and children rolling down hills. And the question that I as a player have is, what exactly are their feelings for each other? And by they, I mean Brenna and Kadarin. And are
Oh, I
they
thought you meant
gonna,
the Wild Hunt.
No. We can talk about them later. But like, what are their feelings for each other? Do they know what their feelings for each other are? Are they confronted their own feelings? Are they going to come to terms with their own feelings? Are they going to say anything about it? I don't know that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I want to know.
I can't help you with that one. I honestly cannot help you with that answer. That is not within the realm of my powers as GM to answer.
Bummer.
Yep.
That's what I want to know. And then you can find me, today is Sunday, you can find me tomorrow for Vampire Montreal by Night over on Wandering DM's channel. That's Simon right over there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, over there. And that's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesday, you can find me for the total finale of Shadows of Red Death over at High Shelf Collective at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is also GM'd by Simon. And then Friday, you can find me on my channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, Trooper SJP, for the solo episode of Traveler, the Gambler's Trial of Our Pirates of Drynax with Rocket Fox. And then I think we'll be back here. Yeah, they'll be back here for one more episode of The Witcher. Ooh.
Yep, indeed. All of those things are true. Hey, Simon, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. I have a cat who really, really wants to be fed. So apologies for the bit distracted at the end there. My love for tonight, I have to give it to Billy. Actually, yeah, no, there was one good. I liked each good scene with Lindy, Billy, and Trooper. I'll start with Trooper because you're here. It's hard to be annoyed. Like, I have to remind myself that my character has to be annoyed at what you're talking about because I find it funny and or hilarious. But it's like, no, wait, I have to roll my eyes. I have to try not to smile. Try not to. Because yeah, Darren just doesn't. At this point, it's not even worth it trying to set the record straight and tell the truth because I think it's just going to be more work. So screw it. I had never seen Ardzo angry before. At least Kadarn wasn't in a situation where Ardzo was angry and he was present. So that was kind of jarring for him because it's like, oh, whoa, wait. There's a second Ardzo. And I mean, yes, the whole thing with Brenna, I really wanted to know what the fallout of our Night of Passion was going to be like. Yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out of it later. Because I'm fairly certain that she might have feelings or a feeling that might not be the same that Kadarn has.
We will find out.
Totally in love with her.
My out of character question.
Yes.
I want to know the exact number of people that are in the Wild Hunt. Because like I know their numbers are finite. But I don't know how many of them. I've been told I should keep more quiet. I've been a little too loud. And for me, you can find me over on my channel tomorrow with both Deirdre and Trooper here. I'm pointing somewhere, but I have no idea where we are on the overlay. For Vampire the Masquerade Montreal by Night. And then on Wednesday for the finale of Cyberpunk Red, Shadows of the Red Death over on High Shelf Collective. We are off Scion this Saturday. So the big battle, the mandatory bar fight, although now it's between demigods and probably a little small army of undead, is going to take place in 2 weeks on April the 8th. And so that, and of course, back here next week for Witcher for the last 4 episodes.
Indeed.
And that's it for me.
Indeed. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you again to my fabulous players. And the answer to your question, I can quasi answer your question, Simon. The Wild Hunt is itself an advanced scouting elite group. The ANL have a standing army. Those two things are not necessarily the same.
No, that is true. I hadn't thought of it that way.
The Wild Hunt of itself is a very elite. Picture a ranger unit.
Mm-hmm.
They're very elite, also very murderous, also slightly kidnappy, and not in a good way at all. But then there's a standing army, and those two things are not the same. But I have been your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, Praxagorth as Meaphores. You see me around here on Twitch, or Prax the Bard over on Hive. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you missed out on anything, you want to catch back up, and you want to get prepped for the finale, the series finale that's happening soon, there's the YouTube. It's all there. Nice, neat, organized playlists. All of the episodes are up. Everything is there. Makes life easy. Also, hey, if you've missed out on any of the game dev streams that I've been doing, including the wonderful stream with Trooper on Thursday where we built Trooper's house, or any of the other house building streams that I've been doing in the past week, those are all up on YouTube. Lots of fun things coming out of that. All prepping for the next game called Carousel Court, which will be a very interesting game. I'm doing something very experimental with it, so I hope people, comment on those videos so I can do things. But where you can find me, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, over on Wandering DM, as I get to play a Ravnos, who's apparently, oddly enough, the only, balanced, quote-unquote, individual of her, cohort, cadre, which is odd, but at the same time, really not. Notice I said balanced, not sane, balanced. Those are two different things. And then probably going to stream some more game dev stuff, probably over the week, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, see what happens, depending on what my schedule is. Back here Saturday for more, the final 4 episodes of A Song of Agapia's Fortune, which they're ascending a mountain to fight a leech. And a cult. And perhaps there are some big giant plant friends that just want to hug them and keep them safe.
Math loves big giant plant friends.
I think that even Math would maybe not like this particular big giant plant friend.
Is it not a friend?
The what?
Corpse flowers.
Oh, yeah, no, they are not friends.
I love how all I have to say is that, and Simon's like, nope. But other than that, you can check my Twitter because I'm posting where I'm going to be and all the fun, wonderful, fabulous folks that I'm going to hang out with and tell stories with and enjoy their wonderful company. If you like what we do here and you want to help us out and you want to help support the channel, I have a Ko-Fi for that. It gives you oh wow, it actually has a link to that now. It goes into the art, it goes into the overlays, it goes into the tech and the equipment so that we can do this as the best of our ability. There's also merch now. There will be another merch going up in the next week. I have to finalize the final design. Be on the lookout, everybody, for a I Survived the Lord Math Experience t-shirt. Everyone needs one. I'm just saying. But other than that, I think we're going to raid and send some love out into the universe and share our good fortune. Because Johnny is up playing some Red Dead Redemption, and we're gonna hop over there, send some love his way. He is a fabulous, fabulous friend, and till next time, everybody. Bye-bye.